97.5 The Fanatic. Win $1,000 right now. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash.
Yes, it's your chance to win $1,000 in a brand new 2023 Birds Kelly Green jersey. Text the word 100, not 100, not 200, just the word 100 to 45911. That's the word 100, HUNDRED. Like Connor wants to punch me 100 times about now. Or you can enter on the Fanatic app or 975thefanatic.com. One winner selected at random will win $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Winners will get a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Complete rules at 975thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash is presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Please never text and drive. Good luck. Hi, good morning, everybody. That's all right, Connor. Don't worry, I don't need music. Yeah, good. What's today?
You're so good on the cash contest, you killed it.
What's today? Wednesday. And a good Wednesday morning, Philadelphia. I'm Andrew Salchunas in for Anthony today. Connor Thomas sitting in my chair doing a bang-up job 1 minute into the show. It's because he's all angry at me right now, so I made him a little flustered, and I threw him off a little bit. There we go. Yeah, but then I wait for it to kick in a little bit, and then there goes Wednesday morning, Philadelphia. I mean, jeez. I don't want to do the show anymore. And the next 3 hours and 58 minutes are yours, Connor, because you completely threw me off. Now I'm done. You know me, I'm a very routine guy.
You're good. You got this. I believe in you.
I'll be fine, but there are people that are like that.
Yes.
That can't handle it. And you know, maybe there's deeper issues. And so that leads me into what we're going to talk about today. Issues. Sports issues. All right? Sports issues. I want to have a sports therapy session today because I just feel like it's very strange right now. I think we're in such a weird place, and I want to get to the bottom of it. Like, I want to see where everybody is coming from. And let me explain. The Eagles are 2-0. It has not been pretty. It hasn't been. But the Eagles are 2-0. We understand how tough it is to win the NFL. We understand how tough it is to win after going to the Super Bowl. Right? There's all the numbers about teams that don't make the playoffs after losing in the Super Bowl. Starting off 2-0 is a pretty good start for you to try to at least get back to the playoffs. The offense does not look great. I go, hey, well, Brian Johnson is the offense coordinator, new offense coordinator. Jalen Hurts, they're working together for the first time. You got to give that some time to grow. But the Eagles are 2-0. And so even though it hasn't been pretty, I go, look, giddy up. Let's get ready for Tampa, and hopefully they can beat the doors off Tampa. And if they don't, then we'll have some more conversations about things not looking great. But I'm not going to panic just yet, especially because in both weeks, the better team came out with a win, and that was your Philadelphia Eagles, and that's why they're 2-0. But when I do the show, when I've done the show over the last week and change, you would think that the Eagles are 0-2 or 1-1 based off of the tone of a lot of people and how this has looked bad and this has looked bad and this guy has to get better and, oh, my God, they made a mistake. I've heard callers and I've had emailers complaining about Brian Johnson, right, and how he should not have gotten the job. It was a nepotism hire because of his relationship with Jalen Hurts. I mean, we're getting to the point of nepotism already 2 weeks into the season. And then you look at the Phillies. The Phillies, it's been a weird season, right? You've had Kyle Schwarber at one point hitting like 170, but he's going to be getting to 45 home runs. He's at 45 home runs, may reach 50 for all we know, and will have over 100 RBI. Trey Turner looked like a guy who never played baseball before. One standing ovation later, and the guy's on a tear. Bryce Harper is playing first base when he's out in the field. Nick Castellanos went from last year's Drek to having an all-star season this year. JT Realmuto went from being your MVP last year to being a dog this year. Like, he has not had a good season. It's just been a very weird year for the Phillies. But ultimately, they're going to make the playoffs, hopefully as the top wildcard team. And all I have to say is, look at last year. It wasn't that long ago where the team was shaky going into the playoffs, and they make a run of the World Series. The Sixers, I mean, don't get me started because I know how we feel about the Sixers. We are down right now with this team. Every time the Sixers put out a tweet, people are complaining about them. I saw the Sixers put out a tweet before Eagles-Patriots week 1. They said, good luck to our friends, down the street, something like that, right? And the people were responding with, please stay away from the Eagles. Don't poison the Eagles. Like, that's how down bad we are when it comes to the Sixers. And the Sixers are quietly putting together a decent roster, but they need that one more big piece. And for me, and I talked about this yesterday at the end of the show, and we'll get into it more today, that big piece is a bought-in James Harden. We had a caller drop off yesterday that wanted to talk about James Harden and his collapses in the playoffs. I understand. And we saw it this past summer when James Harden just collapsed in the final 5 minutes of Game 6 against the Celtics and didn't even show up Game 7. But James Harden makes you a better team if he's bought in. I'm not ready to hand the keys over to Tyrese Maxey just yet, especially when Harden will have one more year left on his deal. So for me, the best thing is he's back. And we say, hey, one more shot. Remember Run It Back with Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris and J.J. Redick and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and it didn't happen? How about we actually run it back this time with the guys that are around and some of the additions they made during the offseason? But all I know is every single day since I've been filling in, it has felt like we've been walking on eggshells with all these teams. Sixers aren't even playing, and yet we're still bothered by them. The Phillies are less than 12 games from getting back to the playoffs. We're less than 2 weeks away. 2 weeks and change until the playoffs actually start. And for me, all my life as a Philadelphia sports fan, no matter what it is, you get excited when it's playoff time. You talk yourself in to our teams making a run. We talked ourselves in to that Sixers team that beat the Bulls as an 8th seed because Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose were out. But we talked ourselves into that team being a potential team that could grow, right? Oh, why start the process? You have Drew Holiday and Andre Iguodala and Thaddeus Young and Spencer Hawes. That team was awful. But they went game 7 with the Celtics the following round because Doc Rivers was a bad head coach. Usually we talk ourselves into things going well. And it seems like right now we're doing the opposite. The Eagles, even though it's been ugly, they're 2-0. That makes me happy. The Phillies, even though it's been ugly, they're going to be the number 1 wild card team this year, as opposed to sneaking in as the final wild card team like there were last year. So yesterday, I kind of asked the question, like, what's going on here? And Andrew Ellis on Twitter pointed out that maybe it was the pain from all the championship losses, the Sixers lost in the second round of the playoffs. And then I think maybe because we have such high expectations with these teams that we're looking for every little thing to bring us down. And then there's the old school approach of, all right, I'm going to tell myself that everything that's going to happen is going to be bad. And when it goes well, I will be happily surprised. And if it does end up going bad, well, I've expected this, so I can't feel as much pain as I think I could if I had positive thoughts. And I want to know why, because doing this for 9+ years now, working at this station, I've seen the shift in attitude, right? We went from the everything sucks, let's just rip the teams, right? Like when I first started here, there's the old saying of, you guys like it when the teams lose because the ratings are better. There was a time when that was true, not us liking it, but like when ratings were better, people tuned in when things were going poorly. But then there was a shift in society, a shift in attitude, a shift in a mental state for people where we realized, damn, hold on a second. I like being happy. And so I'm going to be happy for everything. 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts' first full season as a starter, he was not a good quarterback. Like he was all right. He made some throws. They ran the ball a million times, and they got to the playoffs because they had an awful schedule. And yet, when I talked about it with people, Jalen Hurts was the second coming. And that's awesome. Like, I like that people have that positive attitude. Fast forward 2 years, he shows a shaky start to the season, and I got people asking me, did we jump the gun paying Jalen Hurts? Well, what happened to the positive attitude from just a year ago? What happened to that? So I want to have a therapy session with you. I have appreciated everybody the past 2 weeks that have asked me how I'm doing. Clearly, it's a weird time right now. You know what's going on. It's all pretty public. So you guys know what's going on. And so I've appreciated all of you who have checked in. Hey, dude, how you doing? How you doing through all this? I want to try to repay the favor. I want to ask how you guys are doing right now because I feel like there is just I feel like we're on edge with all these teams. Connor, good morning.
What's up, man?
What the hell's going on?
No, I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
You and I we see things similarly, right? Like just getting into the playoffs for the Phillies. We saw what happened last year. It would really suck if they lost in the wild card round. But you know what? They could still get back to the World Series. They're a talented roster on paper. The Eagles, as ugly as it's been, they're 2-0.
Right.
And that I'm happy with. Am I happy with how they've played? No, of course not. That's not like what I've seen so far through 2 weeks is not a Super Bowl team. But it's only 2 weeks into the season. And they could be 0-2. But they're 2-0. And that's the best thing for any team to trying to get back to the playoffs, trying to get back to winning the division, trying to get back to winning the conference, trying to get back to the Super Bowl, is winning football games. But, man, you would think, I mean, you've been here. You would think that they're 1-1 or 0-2.
Dude, the Phillies have a guy in Bryce Harper who maybe is the most clutch player I've ever seen play baseball. And they went to the World Series last year. The Sixers have the reigning MVP in the NBA. I don't care if you're going to call it, it's a regular season. I don't care. He's the reigning MVP of the league. He's a great player, a generational basketball player. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year, possibly upgraded, and are 2-0 to start the season.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's so hard to drag people to be positive right now.
But isn't it weird? Like, I know you haven't been here as long as me, but you know you're a sports fan. You're a Philadelphia sports fan. You've listened to the station. There was a shift in attitude, and it was filled with positive vibes. And this was before teams started getting good again, right? Like 3-4 years ago, there was a shift in attitude, and a lot of it had to do with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and I think that helped. But now all of a sudden, I think we're on the cusp of going back. Like, we were so close with all these teams last year, and when they all but when they all lost their respective championships, I feel like it knocked people back a step. So I want to get to the bottom of it at 610-632-0975. I thank you for reaching out and seeing how I'm doing. I now want to repay the favor. How are you doing with these teams? And what is it that's making you walk on eggshells? I got an email last night following the Phillies' loss. Remember, I said it was a statement win 2 nights ago. So, of course, they lose yesterday. What happens?
People rip you.
It's right back. All right. I wasn't ripping anybody for calling it a statement win. But because I called it a statement win, now I'm being ripped the day after a loss. This email that I got yesterday, and I'll tell you right now, my response to him, I forget what time it was. It was after the game. All I emailed him back was, your email just made me sad. I'm serious. It brought me down. And I'm a pretty positive dude. I'm keeping my head up high right now. It brought me down, dude. I'll read you that email next. 610-632-0975. A therapy session on the show today. I want you to open up, man. What is it that's bringing you down right now with these teams? Because it's weird when I'm all of a sudden Mr. Positivity all by myself. I don't like this. I'm Andrew Salchunas right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Rough night for Lorenzen. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Temple Football. Be part of a big-time college football showdown when the Temple Owls battle the nationally ranked Miami Hurricanes Saturday at 3:30 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. The first 2,500 fans receive a Joe Klecko replica jersey as part of Temple's celebration of Champions Day. For tickets, visit owlstix.com. The Phils fell to the Braves 9-3 yesterday. Michael Lorenzen made his first relief appearance in a Phillies uniform and gave up 4 runs while only recording 1 out in the 5th inning. That was a big point where the game turned for the worse for the Fightins. The Phils and Braves will finish out that 3-game series in Atlanta with a 12:20 p.m. matchup. So an afternoon baseball game for you today. Aaron Nola throws against Bryce Elder. The Eagles worked out 6 players yesterday, including William Jackson, a cornerback who was a first-round pick by the Bengals back in 2016. They also worked out 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, and a tight end. Don't miss coming up at 12:30. Matt Breen of The Inquirer will join Andrew to give his thoughts on the latest goings-on around Philadelphia sports. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic presents Kelly Green Cash. It's your chance to win $1,000 cash 5 times a day. Every week, listen at 8, 10, noon, 3, and 5 for your chance to win $1,000 cash. And every Fanatic winner in our company-wide contest will also win a brand new 2023 Birds Kelly Green jersey. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash. Every weekday at 8, 10, noon, 3, and 5. Presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL and 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Hey guys, Bob Cooney here. Get ready to start the NFL week off right, because right now all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay for Thursday night football. All you have to do is place a 3-leg same-game parlay on this week's game between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at an even bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's so much fun to do. You pick all kinds of different things, throw them together. Just a little bit of money could win you an awful lot. So visit FanDuel.com/Bob so you don't miss out on your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's John Kincaid for the American Association for Cancer Research. And you know, as a 2-time cancer survivor that is soon hoping to make it a threesome, I know firsthand that donations supporting cancer research are the key to finding a cure. That's why I'm excited about the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. And it runs through the end of the year. All first-time donators received today through December 31st will be matched for twice the impact. So no amount's too small. Every dollar counts twice during the challenge period. And your support helps propel the work of the next generation of people that are pioneering cancer research. Collaboration is critical to making new discoveries, diagnosing, treating, and one day curing cancer. So if you've never donated to the AACR, now's the perfect time, because your dollars will go twice as far thanks to the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. Go to aacr.org/fanatic. That's aacr.org/fanatic and give what you can. I'm living proof that cancer research saves lives, and I'm hoping that the third time's a charm.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Purchasing a new cooling and heating system has never been easier. Horizon Services Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing will develop a custom solution installed the next day with no hassle financing.
Protect and increase the value of your home with Window Nation. Get 0% interest and 50% off all style of windows. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Great Railing offers the highest quality vinyl decking, fencing, and railing at discount prices on the Black Horse Pike in Williamstown or online at greatrailing.com.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your Preferred Pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Hungry dogs run faster, and at Colonial Hyundai, it's one team, one goal every day to get you the most car for your money and make the process faster and easier. It's John Ashdale, the Cars Are, with the winning game plan at Colonial Hyundai. You'll always have home field advantage here at Colonial, where every day is game day. Come see the fantasy lineup on our lot with over 200 vehicles to choose from. New Palisades, Ioniqs, Santa Fe's, and Tucsons. Score one this month for as low as $199 per month. What's your excuse for not joining the team today? Think rates are too high? That's out of bounds. Colonial Hyundai has the playbook to get you approved today with rates as low as 0%. Think you won't get enough for your trade? That's a personal foul. Only at Colonial Hyundai receive the best values in the nation. I'll give you $6,500 for your trade, guaranteed, no matter the condition. Commit to Colonial Hyundai and get off the sidelines today. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
I just turned 40, and life is busier than ever. My daughter is heading off to college next year. We're in the process of renovating our kitchen. And with my brother leaving town, I'm checking on my parents more often. It wasn't until my best friend suddenly lost her husband, and seeing that firsthand made me realize how important life insurance is. So I asked her who she worked with, and she told me SelectQuote. I called SelectQuote the next day, and a licensed insurance agent found me a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $16 a month. With coverage and a price like that, I finally have peace of mind, even amidst the craziness of life.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance at 1-800-707-1515. That's 1-800-707-1515. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-707-1515. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now because game day is so close you can almost taste it. Football watching. Better with Pepsi.
ESPN analyst and Philadelphia's own Kevin Nagandi joins the Anthony Gargano Show every Thursday at noon to break down and discuss all the headlines in Philly sports. Presented by the Siren ETF Trust, distributor Foreside Financial Services, LLC.
Hey guys, it's Andrew. Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia is your game day headquarters. Pre-game the Birds at the ultimate tailgate, just steps away from the stadium with me and my guys Bob Cooney and Pat Egan for the FanDuel pregame show. Enjoy food specials at the new Junebug Barbecue, sip on refreshing drink specials, play trivia and cornhole contests to win awesome prizes and giveaways. Plus, don't forget to make your game picks each week for the chance to win your share of $300,000. Game days only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit LiveCasinoPhilly.com for details. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
Philly sports fans, the energy of the city. 97.5, The Fanatic.
$10:22, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Sal Chunas. 10 o'clock hour brought to you by Window Nation. Taking advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows. Plus, make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. During the break, I just heard, well, first I read the quote, and then I heard some audio of a player inside the Eagles division. Connor, I have Ray getting it right now. So I don't even want you to know what it is. And we're going to react to it. And I can't wait to play it for you, all listening, because this is something where you go, all right, I get what he's saying. But if somebody said that here, oh boy, they would be public enemy number one. And I don't know. He might be public enemy number one in the city that he's playing for. But I was just like, oh, damn. I get what he's saying. But, man, it would not go over well here.
Well, I have to know the team. Like, I know what the team is.
What's the team?
It's the only team that's not 2-0.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. That stuff doesn't come out for undefeated football teams. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen this, but okay, interesting.
We'll play coming up. I know Ray's getting it right now, but let me read you this email. So if you're just tuning in, I'm opening the show up with an open door policy. All right, I want you to come in for a therapy session. As I said at the start, a lot of you have asked how I've been doing. Well, now I want to repay the favor and ask how you're doing, because it feels weird right now. Right, when it comes to our teams, the Eagles and Philly specifically, because they're the ones playing, but even the Sixers, who are putting together a decent roster, but we know that there's, elephant in the room when it comes to James Harden. It just feels like we're waiting for the sky to fall. We're waiting for it to all just come crashing down. So I got an email from Joe last night. And Connor, I want you to take this one in. I know you're working on stuff back there, but this was from Joe last night. Chunas. Tonight's Phillies game is why you don't put out that tweet last night. And the tweet I put out was that was a statement win by the Phillies. If I'm a Braves fan or a Braves player, I'm having flashbacks of the playoffs from last year. Pitching sucks other than Wheeler, and this is going to be why it's a quick red October. Just is. We don't have the pitching this year that we had last year. Lorenzen is horrible. You can't even pitch him after the regular season is over. Same with Seranthony. Soto was trash most of the time other than the occasional 3 and out like last night. Your only reliable right-handers are Hoffman and Kimbrel when it's a close situation in the ninth, which he's actually not wrong with the Kimbrel thing. There's numbers that back that up. You never know which Alvarado is going to show up, and I don't consider him shut down with how he's played since returning from his second stint on the IL. Nola and Walker stink, especially Nola. I don't ever want to watch Nola pitch for the Phillies again after September. Ranger is a toss-up. It's not happening this year. They could get hot, but the pitching will end up ruining them. You want to call me negative? Fine. I'd say I'm being practical with what I've watched all season. Joe. And so I respond to him, damn, that email made me sad. Now, I don't feel the way he feels. I see what he's saying. You know how I feel about Aaron Nola. Taijuan Walker, we talk about short leashes in the playoffs. He gives up 3 runs in the first inning. It seems like every single outing and then settles down. But are you going to give him the opportunity to settle down? Ranger's been up and down all season long, but I still do feel confident in Ranger. And then there's Wheeler, who you feel great about. The bullpen should be one of your strengths. They have not had a good season. They haven't. But you saw Alvarado do it last year. You saw Seranthony do it last year. Kimbrel's could be a Hall of Famer one day. Hoffman's been good for you this year. Soto, you're right. He's, not had a good season, but we've seen him be dominant at times. It's going to come down to Rob Thompson calling the right shots, right? Which he did every single game last year, except for Game 6 for the most part, right? But when I read you that email, it just makes me think that a lot of people feel that way, and that bums me out, man.
Yeah, Joe, appreciate the email. Appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. And the feedback and everything. Take your practicality and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. Like,
you don't have to be mean.
No, I do have to be mean because people all of a sudden act like everything's going to go wrong again. People act like, oh, this city never gets anything. Yeah, okay. Maybe we don't win as much as we'd like to. Maybe a lot of things go wrong here. These things can all, they're true, but to win at any time, regardless of if you have the best roster in baseball or the worst roster in baseball, like if you make it in the postseason, you need some things to break your way in order for you to win. I don't know if you noticed, but there were a couple 100-win teams in your division. One that didn't make it out of a wild card series, one that didn't make it out of the NLDS, thanks to, your team that won 87 games last year and got in as the last team. Okay, you can be practical. It doesn't mean that what practical is going to happen in October. That's not how sports work.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can go ahead and state all those things. That's okay. But with those things, you also have to understand that this lineup's unbelievable. The bullpen on paper can be really good, and is shown in stretches of the season they are really good. The starting rotation has veteran guys. I'm not saying at any point I'm guaranteeing postseason success for the Phillies. And every time people hear us talk positive about it, I think they hear, there's no way they can lose.
Yeah.
That's not it.
No,
but there's as good of a chance that they can be great as there is that they can be bad. And that's the coin flip of sports, and you got to head into it with some more positivity than that.
And so here's my thought about Joe, especially because, as you know, Joe's not alone.
He's not.
We're pointing out all the flaws with this team, and this is why we're not going to have a magical run like last year.
I didn't mean to pick on Joe. Sorry, Joe.
Listen, you popped off. Every once in a while, that's okay, and that's the point of a therapy session. You're in this too, all right? I'm just playing therapist today.
Are you just up there saying it's not your fault? Because I feel like I just kind of
maybe
breakthrough.
We'll see. Breakthroughs are good. But my question for Joe, and for everybody that feels this way, because I know he's not alone. You mean to tell me 2 weeks from now? Like, do you have the date? Can you find the date of when the first playoff game is going to be?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
When that day comes, do you mean to tell me that you're not going to get fired up? You're not going to almost lie to yourself and say, this is going to be a great run? Because from what I remember, last year when nobody felt good about the Phillies' chances, Game 3 of the NLDS, the first home game in the playoffs, was rocking. It was a sold-out crowd. I was in attendance. It was one of the most incredible atmospheres I had been a part of, and I was at Game 3 of the World Series in 2008. I had this conversation with John Brazier, director of fun and games at the Phillies, and we'll hear from him at some point this week. So Brazier and my father had a similar reaction to the Rhys Hoskins bat spike, that was the loudest they ever heard Citizens Bank Park. Louder than any moment during the stretch run in 2008. Maybe the only moment louder than that was the Jimmy Rollins walk-off double, right? Like in terms of how loud it was at the stadium. So you mean to tell me that going into the playoffs, you're just going to be like, oh, man, this stinks. They're going to lose. Like, no. You're going to get bought in, and you're going to get fired up. So all I'm trying to figure out is why can't you do that now? And I'm looking for, in a couple minutes, I'm going to get to a call. Sugar Bear, who I know is I don't want to say the term hater, but he does not like Rob Thompson as a manager, okay? And he wants to respond to the email. So I'm looking forward to talking to Sugar Bear. But here's a tweet from Sean. I'm speaking for some of us. I think we are programmed to expect the sky to fall. I think we expect the worst so we are less hurt, which is what I told you in the opening segment. Last year didn't help losing 3 championships. No matter how positive we want to be, we almost expect the worst. Go Birds, go Phils.
Yeah, but this is past defense mechanism, right?
Yes.
Going into it and saying, I don't know. The Braves are tough, and it's hard to
They
replicate.
are tough.
Yeah, like going into that, that's fine. That's not what folks are doing. Folks are like, well, this team, they're not good at this, that, and the other. They are, folks. Watch other teams around baseball. The Phillies are a good baseball team. How many times do we have to try and drag you to being excited about a very good lineup and a good roster? Like,
they are a good team, but they are flawed, and that's why it's been such a shaky season this year. But all I have to say is, what about last year? It was shaky. October 3rd to the 5th, thank you, Connor, is when the wild card round is. 5th if the game 3 is necessary. So October 3rd, right? We're 2 weeks away. We are 2 weeks away from the first game of the wild card round.
That's my birthday. I want this.
Happy birthday.
What you're about to ask for, I want that as my present.
I need people being bought in.
I need people to buy in.
Just ignore everything and get fired up, because the beauty is, if things continue to go well, which it should as the season closes out, they should be the top wild card team, which means they have a home series, which means on Connor's birthday on October 3rd, if you're at the game or not, it'll be in your backyard. It'll be a home playoff game. And I want that building to be alive like it was during the playoffs like last year. And, oh, by the way, like it has been really all season long. You're down there a lot. You cover the Phillies for the Locked On podcast. You know it's rocking this year.
Yeah, it's like the highest attendance jump in baseball. Your Philadelphia Phillies.
And as it should be, because a team that went to the World Series and got better. And I know that because they got better on paper, we expected a close to 100-win season like the Braves are having, and they're not having that. But they're close to 90. The Braves are just that talented. But I don't have to go far back to tell you when the Phillies beat the Braves last in the playoffs.
Yeah, you've seen people get in a fight before, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing, right? The playoffs, sports in general, they're a fight. If you see a smaller guy fighting a big guy, the small guy doesn't just like wander in and all lackadaisical and just let the guy hit him in the head. I don't care how undermanned you are. We're about to go into a fight. We're about to go into a postseason series where you might have 2-3 games at home. You should, if the Phillies finish out their standing where they are. And what are we going to walk into it saying, oh, well, I don't trust Aaron Nola? Like, no, I don't care if you think they're undermatched. You show up and you get ready to fight for this team because they're good enough.
Damn right. Look at Connor just speaking the truth. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to my man Sugar Bear in South Philly. Sugar Bear, what's going on?
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Let me make something clear first before I get into my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that I have not been a Rob Thompson fan since the days he was a bench coach for Gabe Kapler. I got so many examples that they don't have time to do that.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
I don't hate the guy. I just feel he's not fit to be a manager.
Yeah, I'm not saying you feel anything personally toward the guy.
No,
it's in terms of a manager.
For a few months, I did after he made that decision to Game 6 of the World Series. The easiest decision to make, he couldn't make it.
I agree.
Easiest decision. Okay, so let's get past that, and I agree with your partner there. That's a total violation for you even to condone that letter. Do you know how many teams since 1980 that won 100 games in the regular season have won the World Series?
How many?
7. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and I saw somebody tweeted me yesterday. I think in the last 10 years, the first team to clinch the division has even made it to the World Series. Like the first team in the National League and the American League hasn't even made it to the World Series. I would have to fact check that, but you know how it is because teams start taking their foot off the gas pedal as the season comes to an end, and then all of a sudden you have to try to revamp. And now with a bye, which the Braves will have, now you're trying to revamp from not playing.
Right. Well, the Philadelphia fans in this town are so passionate and so loyal, but the ones that call sports talk radio are clueless, okay?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, yes. When you have people saying, I won't even mention no names, because especially a woman on other channels, just because the Kansas City Royals came into town, they're a minor league team, we should sweep them. When you make a statement like that, you don't know what you don't know. These are major leaguers. These are the best players in the world. And on any given day, like in football, a team with 40 wins can beat a team with 90 wins. We watched last week the Atlanta Braves bullpen blow 6-run leads and a 4-run lead. Okay, they won the game. Okay. The playoffs is totally a different season.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till one of them Braves go 0 for the first 7 in the playoffs and watch they have meltdown in the plate, and before you know it, they start to choke and they start to press. And before you know it, they will get knocked out. And why do people think that this team doesn't have a fighting chance? Are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. But that guy, that email, Joe, he's not the only one. Like, I know it's been like that all season long where people are just saying, last year was a fluke.
But that you got to be clueless to think that. You got to be really clueless to think that. You watch, I guess, over the years, we watched this go on, and it's a new season. It's a new season.
Yeah.
And I want you to know one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was on Rob Thompson's side last week when he didn't bunt JT in that situation. You can never bunt JT in that situation because he don't know how to bunt. He's only bunted successfully one time in
his entire career, and that's in the majors. Who knows? JT Realmuto was probably batting cleanup in college and high school. I doubt he was sacrifice bunting in those eras either.
Right. You just don't. You just don't. JT can do many things at the plate to win the game, to move the runner over, to keep fly ball. So, listen, Rob Thompson is the only – I will go on record, and I've been on record on my social media. Rob Thompson is the only one that can blow this, making a wrong decision. He don't manage. There's no management.
Well, you know what, Sugar Bear? I'll take that, and I appreciate the call. Not that I necessarily agree with him. I will take it. At least he's talking just the manager is the reason why the Phillies might not do anything. Not the players, not the lineup, not the starting pitching, not the bullpen, everything that we've been tearing down all season long because Sugar Bear's right. And Joe, if you're listening, again, I appreciate the email. I don't have to go far back to tell you that the Phillies were counted out and went on a run of the World Series.
Less than a year, I believe.
Yeah. And I can go back 12 years ago when the Phillies were the Braves going into the playoffs. 102 wins. It was the best Phillies team I had seen in my life. And they lost in 5 games to the St. Louis Cardinals without a fight in Game 5, other than Roy Halladay. It's just kind of how it works. It's a strange game where a top-seeded team might not do anything.
No.
And it's like that in hockey. Like, it's not like baseball's the only, hockey does it. The only, one seeds that are always pretty much in it at the end is basketball.
Right.
Except for this year when the Heat somehow got to the NBA championship game. But I don't know. I just feel like we are in such a weird place right now. So I'll read that email again later on in the show. But I appreciated Sugar Bear's thoughts there, even though he still does not like Rob Thompson. But he did agree that you don't bunt JT Realmuto.
Yeah.
That was a topic last week.
Yeah, we're on the same side on that one.
Exactly. All right, so Johnny and Big D, I see you guys. I'll get to you. 610-632-0975. I'll start off the following segment with you. We do have the vault at 11, so I promise I'll get to you before the vault. Also, the audio, we have it ready. I'm going to play it next, but I'll tell you right now, it's Kayvon Thibodeau. And Thibodeau, of course, is a defensive player on the New York Giants who last year was a complete a-hole. Remember he hit Foles?
And then was doing the snow angel celebration while Foles was
next to him. And then he went to the sideline and did the sleep celebration where he said he put him to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, you are an awful human being.
He's a rat.
Not just it's not that I don't like you because you're on the Giants. You're an awful human being for doing that. And I don't care that it was Nick Foles. It could have been Connor Thomas. You don't do that. Like,
I hope you would care if he did that to me.
You're an awful human being. But Thibodeau said something yesterday at the after the Giants had practice about Giants fans. And oh boy, if that was said here, we would not handle it well at all. But at the same time, I got to go, I hear what he's saying. But it was just his attitude's terrible. Like his tone in it, it's awful. Like he's saying it to be a jerk. But we'll talk about it coming up next. It's audio that you don't want to miss. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Vault coming up at 11 o'clock. Matt Breen joins the show at 12:30. It's a Wednesday right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phil's fall to the Braves. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. They're your game day headquarters. Pre-game the Birds at the ultimate tailgate, steps away from the stadium with Bob Cooney, Andrew Salchunas, and Pat Egan for the FanDuel pre-game show. The Phils lost to the Braves yesterday 9-3. It was Michael Lorenzen's first appearance as a reliever in a Phillies uniform as he relieved Christopher Sanchez in the fifth inning, and it did not go well. Lorenzen gave up 4 runs while only recording 1 out in the fifth. The Phils and Braves will now finish out that 3-game series in Atlanta with a 12:20 p.m. matchup today. Aaron Nola throws against Bryce Elder and still a chance for the Fightins to win that series. The Eagles worked out 6 players yesterday. One was William Jackson, a defensive back who was a first-round pick by the Bengals back in 2016. They also checked in on 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, and a tight end. We'll talk to Matt Breen of the Inquirer coming up at 12:30 to get his take on that, where the Phillies are at, a whole bunch of different stuff, as Matt Breen is a very versatile man. We're happy to talk to him coming up. You don't want to miss it. This update's also brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here. It's National Queso Day. And to celebrate, Qdoba is giving away a free large side of 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP, that's D-R-I-P, at participating locations or online. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
The best show ever. Opinion and conversation on Philly's hot sports topics. Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jennifer Scordo. This afternoon at 2. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's John Kincaid for the American Association for Cancer Research. And you know, as a 2-time cancer survivor that is soon hoping to make it a threesome, I know firsthand that donations supporting cancer research are the key to finding a cure. That's why I'm excited about the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. And it runs through the end of the year. All first-time donators received today through December 31st will be matched for twice the impact. So no amount's too small. Every dollar counts twice during the challenge period. And your support helps propel the work of the next generation of people that are pioneering cancer research. Collaboration is critical to making new discoveries, diagnosing, treating, and one day curing cancer. So if you've never donated to the AACR, now's the perfect time because your dollars will go twice as far thanks to the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. Go to aacr.org/fanatic. That's aacr.org/fanatic and give what you can. I'm living proof that cancer research saves lives, and I'm hoping that the third time's a charm.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
A new cooling and heating system from WM Henderson Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is backed by an up to 10-year warranty, no hassle financing, and installation as soon as the next day.
Zoom Drain and Sewer Service of South Jersey provides drain and sewer cleaning services to homeowners, hospitality managers, plumbing contractors, and property managers in the South Jersey area.
Bella Systems Philly will maximize your available space and calm your excess clutter with custom wall units. For a free consultation, visit bellasystemsphilly.com.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your preferred pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-571-6468 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-571-6468. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-571-6468 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-571-6468.
The weather this time of year is more unpredictable than my fantasy football team.
Wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
The weather or my team?
The weather. Your team stinks. I can't believe who you drafted in the first round.
A new system from Pierce Phelps will keep you comfortable no matter what the weather does. And right now, qualified buyers can enjoy 60 months interest-free financing on a new home comfort system. Visit nopaybryant.com to find a Delaware Valley dealer near you.
Bryant.
Whatever it takes.
Barbecue tip number 2 from Roland Dickey. Lousy barbecue places pre-pull their pork and mix it with sauce ahead of time. At Dickey's, our tender, juicy pork butt is pulled to order. And the best part is, the money muscle is in the middle. Try our juicy pulled pork sandwich on a buttered brioche bun with a side and a 32-ounce big yellow cup. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at Dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The saga continues worldwide. The legends of hip-hop and icons of New York, Wu-Tang Clan and Nas present New York State of Mind Tour 2023. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas together live in concert in Atlantic City, Jim Whelan Boardwalk Hall, Friday, September 29th. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Philadelphia Union fans, pregame with 97.5 The Fanatic at PJ Wheelahan's Westchester this Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. Stay to watch the match as the Union take on LAFC. Enjoy Coors Light on special, win great prizes including Union swag and tickets. It's your last chance to sign up to win a road trip to see the Union play New England Revolution on October 21st with Philly Sports Trips. For details, go to the events page on 97.5thefanatic.com.
Coors Light is a proud
proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Union. Soup and chill. Coors Light is made to chill.
Hey, it's John Kincaid with more about my friends at Window Nation, because you're getting more from Window Nation. I love it when my clients make spectacular deals available to my listeners. But this one is ridiculous, because I'm going to tell you, who is giving you no interest on a loan for 2 full years? Who's doing that? Well, Window Nation's doing that. And the more windows you buy, the more you save, up to 50% off. Plus, with 2 years no interest and no payments, it's amazing. Your wallet's in your pocket. It's a fantastic deal, and it delivers more for your home. You're going to get the energy savings, the features, and the options, and the value, and beauty, too. You're upgrading that home. Check out windownation.com and do your window shopping online. And then call them at 866-90Nation and say, I want free money for 2 full years. Because they're giving it to you, and nobody else is doing that. Buy 11 to 15 windows, get 40% off. Buy 5 to 10 windows, get 30% off. The more you buy, the more you save. Whatever size your order is, but no money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. The only thing you won't get is more time. Call 866-90Nation today. That's 866-90Nation. Window Nation's the perfect fit.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic.
1050, 97.5, The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas, hosting a therapy session for you today. We have the Vault coming up in 10 minutes. I have some audio from Kayvon Thibodeau from after his practice yesterday that would not have flown well here in Philadelphia. But I'm opening the show as a therapy session because it just seems like we are all down in the dumps with our teams right now. The Eagles are 2-0. You'd think they're 0-2 based on how some people are talking about them. The Phillies are about to begin another Red October. I read that email yesterday that I got last night after the Phillies lost to the Braves, and he basically talks about how everybody stinks. How everybody stinks. Even though they're going to be in the playoffs, but every single player of the team stinks. The rotation sucks. The bullpen sucks. This guy comes up small. This guy hasn't been able to hit all season long. It's been terrible. It was a terrible email that brought me down. Didn't make me angry. I didn't want to go find him and have a word with him. It just brought me down and made me sad. But that's because I feel like that's how a lot of people are feeling right now. And that bothers me. I like it when the people are happy. So let's go to the phone, 610-632-0975. Talk to Johnny in Cherry Hill. Johnny, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to say regarding the Phillies, I'm a firm believer in you get what you pay for. And I believe that those bats, are going to be on fire this playoffs. And compared to last year, we was asking for 2, maybe 3 runs for our bullpen to hold up because we caught fire at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather ask our bullpen to hold up 5, 6, 7 runs, because of our bats. And that's what might be looking like this year. I'm not going to be completely ignorant to our struggles regarding the bullpen and past the first pitcher, Wheeler, in our rotation. But I think us being in the position as far as, the wild card standings, we're number 1. Rather, last year we was fighting for a final spot. I'm completely confident once October starts that we just going to light it up. Everything becomes more magnified, and it's like the NBA. Everything just slows down.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's going to benefit our bats. I'm not worried at all, man. I'm ready for it, honestly.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, my question for everybody that is, let's use the word worried, because you just said that. Like, what are you worried for? If they lose in the wild card round, yeah, that's a colossal failure. And I'm coming on the radio the next day, on fire, and I'm freaking out, and I'm angry, and I'm going to talk about how awful this season was. But if they get to the NLDS and they lose in 5 to the Braves, like, are we angry at the Phillies? Like, no, the Braves said they're going to win 100 games this year. So, but I just don't understand the attitude going into the postseason of doom and gloom, season over, when they're going to have at least one wild card round to play with.
Exactly, and to get into a rhythm as well, regarding the pitching and our bats. I mean, I don't want to underestimate anyone because at the end of the day, it's a professional league. But I'm ready to face the Braves or Dodgers or whoever it is. Like, I'm not even worried about that first round. Let's use that first round to get into a rhythm.
Exactly,
because we're the better team, honestly.
Johnny, I love your attitude, man. I appreciate the call. I mean, that's good attitude. I'm not angry at anyone who is down in the dumps. Let me make that clear. I am just sad that people are down in the dumps, and I want to try to help. And a call like Johnny makes me feel good. A call like Sugar Bear, even though he's not a Rob Thompson guy, makes me feel happy inside because he realized that the lineup can go off at any time and that teams that have such high success in the regular season don't always get to the World Series. We just saw last year, Connor, you made the point. There were 2 100-game winners in the NL East last year. And the Phils took out one, and the Mets got knocked out by the Padres basically without a fight in the wild card round.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? And I don't necessarily, first point, I don't necessarily disagree with the things that Joe was saying in that email.
Right. Like Alvarado, who was your number one go-to guy last year, and Sir Anthony, your 2 horses out of the bullpen, have had bad years.
Yes.
Like, that's true.
It's not about whether or not what Joe's saying is true. It's about why is that the way you're choosing to view a team with so many other positives, too? Like, you're picking out the negatives. Those negatives may be true, but there's a lot of positives that counter them and put the Phillies in the position that they're in. Like, I don't get it. And the other thing that we're kind of hearing from Johnny there a little bit about what you paid, getting what you paid for. I feel like some people look at this payroll and they're like, oh, okay, well, you went up even more by giving Trey Turner this money. Not a single owner or president of baseball operations or GM are paying the luxury tax for the regular season. They're not doing it. Like, would you like your team to win the division? Sure.
Yes.
Would you like your team to be the top seed in their league? Sure. But no one's shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars to these guys saying, I want to win the NL East. They're saying, I want the damn World Series.
I want to win the World Series. Right.
So let's focus on what the real goal is here and stop worrying about, oh, well, they've struggled through the regular season at points.
Let's go to Big D in King of Prussia. Big D, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, dude?
Hey, shout out to the big Goomba, man. I wanted to throw you guys a curveball and see what your optimism was for the start of the Flyer season. We're about, 2.5 weeks away?
Optimism? I'm optimistic that they're heading in the right direction. I don't think they're going to do anything this year, though.
No, I just wanted to ask you what the heartbeat was. Do you think they'll be semi-competitive? The young guys have been there for a while, Frost and all them guys, and I'm just optimistic about the start of the season.
I'll say this: I'm not watching for wins this year. You know what I mean? Like last year, Chuck Fletcher did the whole we had the 5th biggest change from the previous year. We're the 5th most competitive team or whatever. Like he had some weird. Let me pad my stats of being a good GM, which aren't real. I'm excited for Jonesy and I'm excited for Danny Briere and the direction they're taking. Yeah, there's young players that you're excited for, but I think it's like 2-3 years from now that I'm more excited for instead of going into this season.
Yeah, I'm just.
But I think there's a culture that's coming, and I'm excited to see that change this year.
Oh yeah. I was just getting juiced up for it. I mean, I know the Phillies are hot and the Eagles are there, but we got other teams too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We got the Sixers right around the corner too, right? And
with all that drama, they got to get the Harden thing figured out.
They do, and thanks for the call, Big D. But I'm not going to be comparing teams. I could tell Big D might not be the biggest Sixers fan. Like, at least the Sixers are still somewhat contenders. The Flyers are not. I'm excited though for the change in regime, for the change in culture.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. I'm not getting juiced up for games for the Flyers.
No, they have a direction, but
that's all that matters.
When you're in a deep, deep hole, it's pretty easy to find a direction.
It's like if I had Big D still on, were you excited for process games?
This is there's Disney and then there's Disney on Ice. There was the process, and now you have the process on ice.
Yeah. So there's no they have more talent.
You're excited for players. You're not excited for the team,
right? And so. Sure, I'm excited to see them on the ice for the first time. Wearing the sweater, and they're bringing back some old school stuff, but not like old school like we've been complaining about for years. I was not expecting a Flyers call today. I'll be completely honest with you. I was not expecting for a Flyers call in terms of confidence with the team. I'm just confident in the regime and the future, but the future isn't now, right now.
No, now is the present, and then the future will come later.
Yeah, exactly. Which it's going to. I have full confidence in Jonesy and Danny Briere. I really do. And we'll see how this thing goes moving forward. But I think to start the season, you go, just be excited that they're back, that hockey's back.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I trust the regime.
Thinking that the Flyers will do anything this year.
Yes, but it is the present, and you got to wait to get to the future.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Do you have to wait to get to the past? What do we have coming up, Andrew? It's a softball right there.
Oh, wow. That was.
And you're going to walk on me?
That was good, man. I'm proud of you for that one. It's time now for the vault.
When we began opening this vault nearly 2 hours ago, we had no real idea what we'd find inside. As it turns out, we haven't found very much.
What a great segue by Connor. The vault, presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged. What do you have, Connor?
It's a better segue when you play it. So this is a great vault because we have Dickie Dunn back there producing.
Yes.
And we have you there on mic 1 and me here producing. So we have the three-headed monster of the vault producers here available.
Which monster are you?
Whatever the smallest one is.
Okay.
You ever seen the meme with the 3 dragons and 2
and the
look
one
scary and the one looks like he has no idea what's going on?
I was going to say, is that you?
That's definitely
okay.
me. Yes. But yeah, we're starting back in 1973 today. Billie Jean King had a victory that would change the way people view sports forever. In the Battle of the Sexes, King took down 3-time major champion Bobby Riggs in a landmark moment for women in sports.
Third match point for Billie Jean King.
Looks a little like Margaret Court now.
A lot of ladies would like to have this another double.
It is over. Let's watch Bobby Riggs here in the Houston Astrodome. The long-awaited match, hustled and promoted ceaselessly and shrewdly by Bobby Riggs. All of the women of America, or at least most of them, seem to be caught up with the anticipation of this match. Billie Jean went into virtual seclusion. It turned out instead that Billie Jean King was perfectly ready.
That's awesome. 1973, you said?
Yes,
this
sir.
Day? That's crazy.
I mean, that's one of the
50-year anniversary. That's amazing.
Dude, it's crazy. Still, Bobby Riggs jumping over the net to congratulate Billie Jean King. He's still one of the great sports images of all time. And it's a great moment for women's equality in sports. I mean, listen, we've got ESPN tweeting incessantly about WNBA playoffs and stuff like that. That was a world where women in sports basically wasn't a thing.
Right.
So,
yeah,
a huge moment.
That's incredible. 50-year anniversary. How about it?
Yes. Let's go to 1988 now, a little bit more recently. In 1988, on this day, Baseball Hall of Famer Wade Boggs becomes the first player in MLB history to have 6 consecutive 200-hit seasons. Wade Boggs, a monster. Could you imagine 6 years of 200 hits?
That doesn't happen anymore.
Back in 88, he's the first one to ever do it. Played for the Red Sox. And it also gives me an excuse to play one of the great clips in the history of television. Let's hear it.
But you're not done yet. Yeah, no, Boggs didn't just drink enough beer to kill a horse. He also suited up the next day and went 3 for 5. So you're going to have to do that. I can do it, but just give me the bat again. Yeah, totally. All right, here we go, Charlie. You got to go at least 3 for 10, all right? You ready?
I got all numbers.
Okay, I'm going to put a little mustard on this one, all right?
Give me a hot dog, baby.
All right. You wrote that.
It's a Wade Boggs style.
It was Wade Boggs style.
And, of course, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's great.
Oh, I love that scene.
Now that's amazing. So I just looked up, I figured I'd look up Pete Rose, the hit king. His highest consecutive streak of 200-plus hit seasons was 3. He did it twice, but it was 3. Boggs did it 6 straight seasons where he had at least 200 hits. That's incredible.
Dude, Boggs is a monster. Absolutely insane. One of my favorite athletes of all time. Just
one of your favorite athletes?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were 6 when he stopped playing.
I know, but the legend of the way he went about his business of just guy shows up, he crushes beers, he plays baseball, he goes home. Wade Boggs style.
Can you have a favorite athlete in history that you barely watched or probably didn't watch at all?
Me? Of course you can.
That's like me saying, "Oh man, Hakeem Olajuwon."
Okay,
I loved him. He retired when we were 8.
Do you have a favorite president that wasn't alive when you were alive that you weren't come on? There are certain things you can appreciate about history without having to be there to see it. People who like.
Yeah, but athletes is so different. Like you're watching them play.
You can look back at.
I've never thought of a favorite athlete. Like I understand. Like I would love Jackie Robinson.
That's
because
Pat's
of what
favorite.
he did for Major League Baseball. But like I didn't watch Jackie Robinson play, so it's not like I could say, man, he was one of my favorite athletes of all time. No, he's one of my favorite heroes in baseball of all time.
Dickie Dunn says he loves Robin Roberts.
Why?
I don't know. Ask him. But it's okay. This is weird that you don't think it's okay to.
No,
like
I've never thought of it this way. Like I've never thought of a favorite. Like I have throwback jersey. Like I have a Randall Cunningham jersey. But like I'm not telling you that Randall Cunningham is one of my favorite Eagles of all time when I didn't watch him play.
Yeah, listen, I get what you're saying, but I also think there's people out there in the camp of like students of history. Now, when I say he's one of my favorite players, it's also because of like off the field, like the way he carried himself as a man. I just think it's awesome. Like if I was a professional baseball player, like I would handle myself like Wade Boggs.
So is Wilt Chamberlain one of your favorite players of all time because he like had sex with 4 women a day?
He's up there.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like but you didn't watch him play, so I don't know. I never thought of it that way. I'm not angry. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. I didn't know that you could have a favorite athlete that you didn't watch play.
Did you know what we have coming up next? Because you mentioned Wilt Chamberlain. Well, coming up next, we have a clip that includes a little bit about Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay, what do we got?
It's because legendary Celtics coach and general manager Red Auerbach was born on this day 106 years ago. That was back in 1917.
Okay.
Then every day of his life going forward, he tortured NBA fans by building a Celtics dynasty. I want you to listen to this interview, him talking about what if Wilt Chamberlain was on the Celtics instead of Bill Russell.
Okay. With Russell, you won 11 championships in 13 years. Suppose the surrounding cast was exactly the same, and Wilt was in Russell's place. How many would you have won?
Well, let me put it this way. At about the time that occurred, Chamberlain was already spoiled. See, he lived in New York. He played in Philly. He used to meet the team. He practiced when he wanted. There were like 2 sets of standards. One day he felt like passing. Next day he felt like shooting. He ran the thing as he wanted to run. He was not an integral part of a team concept. This doesn't take away from his ability, but it takes away from his ability to win. Where Russell, there was no 2 sets of standards. I mean, I'd ball him out just like I'd ball anybody out. Because he was a man, and then he knew all he wanted to do was win. When Russell blocked a shot and he made it an art, we'd get the ball 90% of the time because he'd tip it underneath the ball. Up in the air, we'd get it. Where Chamberlain would electrify the crowd by slapping it out of bounds. Well, what good is that? We'd get the ball back.
So, not a big fan of Wilt Chamberlain.
He likes the ability, apparently, but not a fan of the style of play, I guess you'd say.
Now, he's probably saying that because he wants to have Bill Russell's back, which I appreciate. But, like, come on now. So I pulled up the 1960-61 Celtics team. All right, they won the NBA Finals. They beat the St. Louis Hawks. Along with Bill Russell, they had, let me just confirm this for a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Hall of Famers on that team.
Yeah.
I think Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, you flip, they're probably still winning that many games because they had 8 other Hall of Famers.
I'd imagine
Red?
so. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying, but I get it. They're rivals. You get how that goes. And another clip from Auerbach here in an interview talking about how he used to mess with Wilt Chamberlain during games.
Thing was, Chamberlain, I used to drive him a little nuts after that. So when you call a timeout, you're allowed to talk to the referees.
Yeah.
So when you talk to the referees, the other coach is permitted to come over and listen. So when I call a timeout, instead of the other coach coming over, he comes over, and then Chamberlain comes over like he's bigger than the game, big man. So I'd stop right in the middle and I said to the referees, I said, who's him? I said, who's that guy? I said, get him out of here. And he go bananas. How dare they talk
In fact, one night, Chamberlain tried to get at Red. He just lost it. And Russell stepped in between and said, you want him, you got to go through me. And Chamberlain says, you see this arm? Do you know what I can do to you with this arm, Russell? You want him, you got to go through me. Red standing behind him saying, let him go, I'll own his house.
Let him go, I'll own his house. I mean, I'm taking Wilt Chamberlain a billion times out of a billion in a dust-up with Red Auerbach.
Yeah, Red Auerbach's going down. He's going down.
You could see why a lot of people around the league hated Red
Didn't
Auerbach.
like him, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't argue with the guy's success. It's much like what he was talking about with Wilt. I mean, you can hate the style, but the numbers back it up. So, taking you down memory lane for some people that, like, a generation or two in our families probably couldn't stand right out.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Vault.
That's the Vault, presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers, which is where Philly gets engaged. So I just tweeted out my account, ASaltunis975, whether or not you can have a favorite athlete who you barely saw play or didn't see it at all play. And the reason why I say didn't see it all play is because Philly JRB checks in. My favorite basketball player all time is Pete Maravich, who passed away a few months before I was born. He has since watched all of his highlights and games that are obviously available. I doubt he's watched every single Pistol Pete Maravich game in his life.
So I'm a big Pistol Pete guy because my dad grew up down in Pinellas Park in Florida, right outside Tampa, where you're going to be with Bob and Pat and the guys this weekend. And Pete used to work out down there in the off season, so he played a couple times. These are the days of the NBA. There's no like LeBron goes to LA to play in a gym somewhere with other NBA players. Like dudes would just roll up to the Y.
Yeah.
And Pistol Pete showed up and would play every once in a while. My dad would play against him, and he tells me all the time about watching him play in person, playing against him in person, just like insane stuff. It's awesome. And I've always wanted to look into him because of that. And
all right, well, that's a little bit more of a personal story, so I guess I understand that one.
Yeah, but like you don't think other people have personal stories?
Like, well, no, like so, but like here's the thing. Like Arvydas Sabonis, right? I'll use him for example.
Of course.
Duh. But Arvydas Sabonis, like, it is a iconic Lithuanian basketball player, influential to what happened when the Soviet Union goes down and Lithuania has the basketball, the other dream team, the '92 Olympics, and then he goes to the NBA and he plays for the Portland Trail Blazers. And I've watched his highlights and everything. He is an icon for me in terms of my culture and my heritage. But I'm not about to say Arvydas Sabonis is one of my favorite players of all time. He was retired before I really even watched basketball.
Okay, that's you. Listen, I get where you're coming from. I understand that. But
Marco Polo checks in about Roberto Clemente.
Marco.
So, Roberto Clemente, yeah, I have a Clemente jersey at my house because he's an icon in baseball.
Right.
But I'm not about, like, I've never considered him as one of my favorite players of all time when I never saw him play. I don't know why I'm so caught on to this.
Yeah,
but I've never heard something like that before.
I don't think
you said Wade Boggs is one of your favorite athletes of all time, and he was 6 when we were 6 when he retired.
Yeah,
I had a kid in college. We called him Brooklyn, and Brooklyn was a Denver Broncos fan. He was from Brooklyn. That's why we called him Brooklyn, but he was a Broncos fan because of John Elway. And dude, when I say Broncos, like diehard Broncos fan, he'd never wavered. Like he was, diehard Broncos fan. Everybody else is together in our little common room. The freshman dorm, we pulled out one of our TVs to watch the Eagles game. He's in his room by himself watching the Broncos, right? Like that big of a fan. I'm like, wait, John Elway? Like, dude, we were like 5 years old when he retired. What are you talking about? How could John Elway be one of his favorite players that made him a Broncos fan when we were 5?
I don't know. You see like an old video on NFL Films one time, and you're like, wow, that guy's awesome. And then you look it up, and you just, I don't know. Like, my brother likes history. He likes watching old World War II documentaries. How do you get into that? He wasn't around for it. I don't know. You look back.
Yeah, but he's not sitting there saying, man, I really like that war. No, he's just into history.
No, I got you. But liking the old athletes is like being into history.
I really love the strategy that they had.
That's true. He does do that. He plays like war games on his computer. He gets into it.
610-632-0975, the number to climb in. I'll reset the show next to tell you all about what we got into. It's a therapy session, and maybe I need a therapy session for being so caught on to this. But if you have a favorite athlete that you never saw play, explain to me how. I've never thought of it that way. And also, as promised, I keep on putting it off. Kayvon Thibodeau had some things to say about Giants fans yesterday, and I want to play it for you next. And I want to react as if it was one of our own who said it, one of our Eagles players or Phillies or Flyers or Sixers. I don't know how we would react to it. I know there are some people, a lot of people actually, that would come to his defense and say he's not wrong. But the way he said it, oh, man, we would not handle it well. I'm Andrew Saltunis, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles work out some players. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Citadel Credit Union. Citadel exists to serve Greater Philadelphia with all things banking. See how you can earn a $300 bonus with a new checking account at citadelbanking.com/radio. The Eagles, with a longer week, can now look to address some issues with the roster. And yesterday, they worked out 6 players to see if any of them were an answer, including William Jackson, a defensive back who was a first-round pick by the Bengals back in 2016. They also had 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, and a tight end come and work out with the team. We'll let you know if there's any updated roster information on the Birds. The Phils fell to the Braves yesterday evening, rather. Michael Lorenzen had a rough outing in his first relief appearance in a Phillies uniform. Christopher Sanchez didn't have his best night on the mound. It just wasn't a great pitching night for the Philadelphia Phillies. They end up giving up 9 runs, but they have a chance to bounce back today. An early game, 12:20 p.m. Aaron Nola will face off against Bryce Elder as the Phils and Braves wrap up their 3-game series. Don't miss Matt Breen joining middays at 12:30. Talk a little bit about the latest in Philadelphia sports. Of course, Matt Breen of The Inquirer. This update was also brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here, National Queso Day. To celebrate, Qdoba is giving away a free large side of 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP at participating locations or online. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic, official home for Philadelphia Union Soccer. Catch all the action tonight at 7:30. Presented by Coors Light. Dupe and chill. Coors Light is made to chill.
We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the app now and sign up with the code FANATIC. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL with the code FANATIC. The crown is yours. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's John Kincaid for the American Association for Cancer Research. And as a 2-time cancer survivor that is soon hoping to make it a threesome, I know firsthand that donations supporting cancer research are the key to finding a cure. That's why I'm excited about the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. And it runs through the end of the year. All first-time donators received today through December 31st will be matched for twice the impact. So no amount's too small. Every dollar counts twice during the challenge period. And your support helps propel the work of the next generation of people that are pioneering cancer research. Collaboration is critical to making new discoveries, diagnosing, treating, and one day curing cancer. So if you've never donated to the AACR, now's the perfect time because your dollars will go twice as far thanks to the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. Go to aacr.org/fanatic. That's aacr.org/fanatic and give what you can. I'm living proof that cancer research saves lives, and I'm hoping that the third time's a charm.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Ensure your heating and cooling system is in peak condition. Last year, Hutchinson performed thousands of repairs that could have been avoided with a tune-up backed by the area's top no-breakdown guarantee.
Landis Block transforms your backyard into a dream oasis. Visit landisbc.com to start envisioning your paradise today. From pavers to landscaping, they've got you covered. Landis Block, your backyard, your paradise.
WM Henderson Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, and now featuring Farron Electric, provides clear upfront pricing for everything from simple repairs to full system outages.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your Preferred Pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware, if you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
If you have to towel off after you towel off, don't throw in the towel. Call your independent Delaware Valley trained comfort specialist for a new high-efficiency air conditioning system with whole-house air filtration. You'll get cooler, cleaner, and healthier air throughout your home and lower energy bills, too. So if your AC puts out more hot air than a politician, visit Train.com to find a Delaware Valley independent trained comfort specialist near you and ask about rebates and special financing offers. It's hard to stop a train. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
Philadelphia Union fans, pregame with 97.5 The Fanatic at PJ Wheelahan's Westchester this Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. Stay to watch the match as the Union take on LAFC. Enjoy Coors Light on special, win great prizes including Union swag and tickets. It's your last chance to sign up to win a road trip to see the Union play New England Revolution on October 21st with Philly Sports Trips. For details, go to the events page on 975thefanatic.com.
Coors Light is a proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Union. Dupe and chill. Coors Light is made to chill.
Listen to 97.5 The Fanatic everywhere. On Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, if you're over 40 and you've noticed you're falling off at work, the gym, even the bedroom, listen up, because the reality is once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. But there's good news. Nugenix, the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart, has turned back the clock for men over 40 with Nugenix Total T. And guys all over America are feeling the difference.
This is the best product I've found to raise T levels. I plan on using the product for the rest of my life.
I had no drive and was tanked at the end of the day. After 3 months, my energy level is through the roof. I work out like most 19-year-olds. I'm 47.
Text PREP to 369-369 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 369-369. That's PREP to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Philly sports. We're born into it. 97.5 The Fanatic.
It is 11:21, and I am just not on the same page as Connor today. And it all started with something I witnessed that I won't even bring up on the air this morning.
Please don't.
Because you would get completely destroyed if I told the people. But it started off before I even got in here. What I witnessed Connor Thomas do.
Stop following me to work, weirdo.
God. And now, just everything that you've said so far to start the show, I'm just in complete disagreement with you. There are some people that are on your side with the whole favorite athlete or top, one of your favorite athletes without seeing them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in the majority in that whatsoever. But I think it's crazy how crazy you think it is.
Sean Spellman checks in. Sean from Pine Hill. He says, my favorite all-time baseball player is Willie Mays. He was my father's growing up. He taught me all about him. I saw video, highlights, read books, fell in love with history. No, I did not see him play live. I was still a swimmer at the time. He wasn't even out.
It took me a second.
He wasn't even out in the world yet.
Yeah, see? It's
But, I find that strange. Like, to me, to have a favorite athlete, you connect with them by watching them on a daily basis. Like, Carlos Ruiz is one of my favorite athletes of all time. And he's not a Hall of Famer, but I was a catcher. And so I watch him play. So I had that sort of connection. And then, of course, he won the World Series and blah, blah, blah. And he seemed like a good dude. Darren Dalton's not one of my favorite players. I love everything that Dutch did for the Phillies. I love that he went on and won a World Series with the Marlins. I love everything that he did in the area and doing, pre and post game coverage on Comcast Sportsnet at the time. But, I don't have that connection as him as an athlete.
I totally get that. Like, my all-time favorite athlete is Roy Halladay.
Okay.
Because I watched him, and I modeled my game after him growing up, and I loved watching him pitch for the
How'd it
Phillies.
go for you?
You
got to college.
I got the most out of this body that I could. I wasn't built like Roy, unfortunately. But that's the thing, right? One of your favorite athletes, or even your favorite athlete, it can be someone that you picked up from a generation past, your parents. I don't know. Maybe you saw an old film and you loved him. Or, like, I don't know. It's not as crazy as you're making it out to be, but I will say I guarantee you I'm in the minority.
I got a tweet from Matt. He's a big Pretzel Pizzulo guy. He was a left-handed pitcher for the Phillies in 1935.
I wasn't a big fan of Pretzel. I watched some film. Not really my guy.
I just find it. I find it strange, but whatever. That's besides the point. All right, we'll get to this Kayvon Thibodeau audio in a second, but just to kind of reset the show, I think people are in a very weird place right now with our Philadelphia sports teams. It's funny. The most confident caller in the show so far today was about the Flyers, and they're tanking. They are in a process. But anyways, I had an email yesterday. I want to read it for you guys one more time. And this kind of paints the picture of how a lot of people are right now with Philadelphia sports. Now, this email was specifically for the Philadelphia Phillies, but if you've listened to the show, or if you listen to any shows, if you listen to your buddies, texting with your buddies, my father, he and I text back and forth during Eagles games. You would think the Eagles are 0-2 or 1-1 because of how they've looked and how we have perceived how they have looked. No, it hasn't been pretty, but they're 2-0. And there are reasons why they haven't looked pretty. And I don't think it's because they stink. I think it's because Brian Johnson is learning how to be an OC in the league. I think it's because Sean Desai is learning how to be a DC in the league. They dealt with so many injuries on the defensive side of the ball. That's the other thing. I had a caller on Friday, the day after the Thursday night game. Oh, my God, I'm so worried about this defense. Look at all the yards Kirk Cousins put up. They were missing their starting safety, one of their starting corners, and their starting middle linebacker, and Avonte Maddox left the game. Their starting slot corner. We can't ignore these things, right? Like, I'm not trying to sound angry here, but sometimes it does piss me off when we ignore things and then we perceive that the sky is falling. The sky isn't falling. They're just dealing with some stuff right now, and it's early on in the season, and the best thing is they're 2-0. Could be worse. You could be the Bengals with Super Bowl expectations, and they're 0-2 with their quarterback now potentially missing week 3. But here's the email I got from Joe last night following the Phillies' loss to the Braves. The subject was "regret that tweet?" ?
Love that.
Which when he sent when I first read the email, before I even started reading this, what was actually in the body of it, I was already angry because I hate the Tunis train GIF crashes and all that kind of stuff.
That's a great subject line of an email, right?
But I said, you know what? Let me read this guy out before I get angry. Tunis. Tonight's Phillies game is why you don't put that tweet out last night. Pitching sucks other than Wheeler, and this is going to be why it's a quick red October. Just is. We don't have the pitching this year that we had last year. Lorenzen is horrible. Can't even pitch him after the regular season is over. Same with Sir Anthony. Soto is trash most of the time, other than the occasional 3 and out like last night. Your only reliable right-handers are Hoffman and Kimbrel when it's a close situation in the 9th. You never know which Alvarado is going to show up. I don't consider him shut down with how he's played since returning from the second stint on the IL. Nola and Walker stink, especially Nola. I don't ever want to watch Nola pitch for the Phillies again after September. Rangers a toss-up. It's not happening this year. They could get hot, but the pitching will end up ruining them. You want to call me negative? Fine. I'd say I'm being practical with what I've watched all season. Joe. So that's Joe. And I know that he's not alone. Where you look at this Phillies team and you go, this thing stinks, this guy's bad, blah, 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 blah. They're also going to make the playoffs, and they're going to start in about 2 weeks. And I really hope that attitude that Joe has, which I know he is not alone, that attitude goes out the window, and that you get ready for a red October. October 3rd is the first game. October 3rd, hopefully at Citizens Bank Park, whether it's the Cubs or the D-backs or the Marlins or the Giants or the Reds, whoever the Phillies play, I don't care. October 3rd, hopefully is at Citizens Bank Park. And I hope that place is rocking. And I hope that you put your fears aside. But I want today to be a therapy session because I feel like a lot of people are walking on thin ice with these teams. And I just go, look, it hasn't been pretty. But it's not as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be, and it could be a lot worse. We could be the San Diego Padres. We could be the Cincinnati Bengals. When it comes to the Sixers, I think have a decent roster. I just need a Bud and James Harden to come back, and we'll get into that later on as well. Could be worse. You could be the New York Knicks, who have hope every single year, and they lose in the first round of the playoffs because they actually stink. The Sixers aren't the Knicks. The Phillies aren't the Padres. And the Eagles aren't the Bengals through 2 weeks. But I want to have a therapy session with you at 610-632-0975. I'll talk to this with Matt Gelb, who's going to be joining the show coming up at 12:30. Now, I want to play this audio for you. Connor, you have not listened to it yet, I assume?
I have not.
I had Ray Dunn grab it. I saw it during one of the breaks earlier in the show. So Kayvon Thibodeau, who's an ass. Like, I don't like him at all. What he pulled last year when he sacked Nick Foles and he did the Snow Angel celebration when Foles was, like, not down. Like, he was writhing in pain. Like, you saw him, like, rolling around. Like, I'm not saying as a child, like, in a mean way, but, like, that's kind of how it looked. And then Thibodeau goes to the sideline, now knows what he did, right? You want to say, oh, he had no idea that Foles was right next to him. All right, fine. He then goes to the sideline and does the Steph Curry sleep celebration where he put Nick Foles to sleep. Yo, dude. With that, like, you know all about CTE and injuries, and you're going to pull that crap? And then after the game, he was called out for it, and then he called out the coaches. And I'm like, yo, dude, you are an ass. But anyways, the New York Giants, they're 1-1 to start the season. They had that awful embarrassment of a loss to the Dallas Cowboys week 1, down 40-0. And then they're down 20-0 to Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. And ha, Jonathan Gannon, you guys failed. And the Giants came back and won that game. Mr. Defensive Specialist. LOL, you suck. So Kayvon Thibodeau, I guess, was asked about the fans. And this is what he had to say.
I mean, because the thing is, every fan just wants to be a part of a winning team, right? So even early in that game, our own fans are booing us. They're giving up on us. And then as soon as we start to win, now everybody's cheering and everybody's excited. Everybody wants to get a jersey signed and this and that. And it's a tough situation, but when you start to realize that the only people that matter are the people in the room, and the only people who are really here for us is us. And as long as we continue to focus on that and continue to control the narrative and keep pushing forward, we'll be all right.
So I find this interesting, okay? Because this guy's got a track record of being a jerk off, right? Like he's not a good dude. So he says that. Part of me goes, all right, he's not wrong. Like if you're down 3 scores going into halftime, which they were down 20-0, and you're getting booed walking off the field, I would not be surprised if there's some of the players going, bleep these guys. And we saw Alec Boehm with the eye bleep, and he hated here, right? Now, you also have to realize you were down 20-0.
Yeah.
And Alec Boehm, you did make 3 errors in like five plays in the game. Like, yeah, there's a reason why you're going to get booed, because the paying customer wants to see a better result, especially if you're the Giants and you just lost 40-0 in week 1, and now you're down 20-0 to a team that a lot of people predict to finish dead last in the NFL. So I can't completely rip Kayvon Thibodeau. It's like the A.J. Brown situation. 2 different situations, but I'm cool with A.J. Brown winning the football. But there's a time and place, dude. Like, you got to realize Devontae Smith has 4 catches for 1 billion yards, and DeAndre Swift has 25 carries for 2 billion yards.
Right.
So you got to realize it's okay the ball's not going your way right now because you guys are winning and things are going well. So get over it. So Kayvon Thibodeau's got to get over it. Like, yeah, you're down 20-0 to the Arizona Cardinals. Of course you're going to get booed. But then he goes to the point of saying, you know, we realize all that matters is us. If that was said here, it would not go over well.
It was said here, and it didn't go over well.
Sean Rodriguez?
No, keep going back. A way better player for that same team.
Jimmy Rollins?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he said the front runners, you know.
But he was essentially saying the same thing that Thibodeau's saying there. When we win, they're here. When we lose, they're not. And we got to focus on, and we got so pissed over that.
I didn't, because he's not wrong. I mean,
but that's the thing. That's the same thing.
Look at the last 10 years at Citizens Bank Park. They're not winning. It's empty. But he has to realize that.
Yes.
Right. You know, if your team's not going to the playoffs for 10 straight seasons, I don't expect people to spend their hard-earned money going to the game.
No, that's how it works. Put a good product, people buy it. Put a bad product, people don't.
That's life in general. So Thibodeau says that. I don't know if it's exactly like J-Roll, because, I mean, I get what you're saying.
I took it as very similar to what Jimmy was saying.
Okay. I just know the track record. Like, Jimmy Rollins was a lovable guy, period. Thibodeau has not really been a lovable dude since coming into the NFL. And so when he says something like that, so I think of, like, remember Ben Simmons did the whole stay on that side?
Yeah.
You know, like, that angered me, because it's like, well, Ben, you didn't play well. Like, stop trying to cast blame to the fans as to why you didn't play well. Like,
yes.
No, you did not play well. That's on you. You deserve to hear it. But then it's the conversation about booing and standing ovations for Trey Turner when things aren't going well and what our role is in all this. But when I hear Thibodeau say that, and I go, man, imagine if, like, Fletcher Cox said that. Lovable guy, huge part of winning the Super Bowl in 2017-18. People have been kind of tired with Fletcher Cox, except for this year. But the last couple of years, people were waiting for the end of Fletcher Cox. If he had something like that to say, I don't know how that would go over here in Philly.
It'd be interesting because it didn't go over well for Rollins, and I'd be interested to see. We talked earlier about the shift in the mentality of the fan base,
right?
Especially post Super Bowl. Have we come to terms with that? Have we become a little bit like that? Would be a great example of whether or not this fan base has become softer. Like John and Bob talk about it all the time on the John Kincaid Show about like how the fan base has changed, and not necessarily like making it a bad thing. There are some conversations where they would say that things are not taken the way that they used to be. But I'd be very interested to see how we react to that in today's Philly as opposed to when Jimmy said it.
Right. And, you go to Tobias Harris, the crumble cookie thing. There were a lot of people that had his back, but then I was angry about it because I think he's just taking it the wrong way. Now, look, there are ass bleeps on Twitter that are probably like, Tobias Harris, I hate you, leave Philly, whereas I wanted to trade Tobias Harris because I didn't think he fit with this team, like his skill set. He is a 20-point scorer in the NBA. He is a borderline all-star in the NBA, just not with this roster.
Yeah. You wanted to trade him. Crumble Cookie's just not good enough return.
Right.
Give me someone who could play the 4.
Exactly. But then he does the whole casual fans, and I don't like that. I don't like that kind of stuff. Now, I hate you, Ray, who's in the back right now. I'm interested to take this call. So we have Josh in Mount Laurel, who's a Giants fan. So let's see how Josh took the words by Kayvon Thibodeau. Josh, what's going on, man?
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
What's up?
I call in every so often, and no surprise, I'm a Giants fan working in South Jersey. But so this is how I took it. So first of all, I never liked him. I never liked him as a pick. He's an undersized lineman. Everybody, when they first drafted him, compared him to Michael Strahan, and I go, dude, the guy's barely taller than me. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's like 250 pounds. So he's one of those hybrid, weird, out-of-place lineman, linebacker type things. And when he said that, I tell people all the time because, I'm a plumber. So I travel the whole state, do whatever work needs to be done. And I'm a Giants fan. So when I hear a player say that and they go, well, we got shut out 60-0 within 6 quarters,
right?
Something that hasn't been done in, God knows how long. And it goes, no, dude, even in the Arizona game, you see a whole bunch of Giants fans made the trip out to Arizona. So it goes, it's not that we don't care, but when we are seeing you guys getting paid millions and millions of dollars, where your average Joe is making $50,000 a year, coming in working every day, not getting any recognition, and you're over here not performing, and you're a top 5 pick, then how can you expect us not to be upset or angry? And it's not necessarily directed towards you. And the people and the fans that say, "Oh, go off yourself" or anything like that, they're horrible.
They're horrible human beings. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you are making millions of dollars, you're not performing. You are, saying this stuff to fans. It's a slap to the face.
And he's not a good dude. Like
he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a horrible guy. And from what I've heard from his college days, he thought he was the biggest thing in the stadium. And it's like if you had Albert Haynesworth as a player, and then with the personality of like, I don't know, DeMarcus Cousins or something like that. It's just you can't be like that and not perform, and then not get any critique, anybody critiquing your play.
Yeah, and I found that interesting. Now you're a Giants fan, but you work in the area, so you know how we operate. I don't think that would go over well if somebody said it. Now I don't know. Like, do you listen to New York radio at all?
So I do, because I live up by Woodbridge, right across Staten Island. So every day coming down the turnpike, I listen to ESPN New York, and then as soon as I get over here, when I lose signal, I listen to you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, first of all, and I'd like to give a shout out to you guys because I think that you guys as a whole are better than 98.7 ESPN New York.
Okay.
Personally, that's just something I had to be said, and it pains me because you guys are Philly based. But the way that these, Michael Kay and and all these other guys from up there, they love him and they say, oh, well, that's tough personality and blah, blah, blah. I go, no, if you're talking about somebody like Bum Phillips where he's brash but he gets things done, that's another thing. You know, if Bill Belichick acted the way he did, but, you know, every year he was playing like Jeff Fisher as a coach, he wouldn't. You can't do that. You can't.
Right.
You can't be bad and then act bad and then expect, you know, all this praise. And like I said, with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and Thibodeau, those three, I never wanted to draft them. And everybody up in North Jersey loves them to death, loves them to pieces. And personally, I can't stand it. And yeah, if it were up to me, they'd all three be gone, and Dable would be, you know, on the tight wire because. Listen, I had Joe Judge as a coach. I had, we had McAdoo who rolled one season in the playoffs, and then the next year they just, you know, listen. I'm not interested in fool's gold.
Yeah, I got you, Josh. Listen, man, I appreciate the call and I appreciate his insight on this. So apparently, it's going well for Thibodeau to say that. But Josh's point, I forgot the game was in Arizona. Like there were Giants fans that made the trip. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm going to boo. I flew out there, paid all this money to watch you get beat up by the Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon. Of course I'm going to let my voice be heard.
Absolutely. That team's actively tanking. And you're going out there and you're on pace to lose your second straight game 40-0 at halftime. Like, yeah, dude, understand that you got to put a good product on the field.
It's just weird, like, because it's one of these fan-player relationship things. Right. Whereas I don't blame Kayvon Thibodeau for saying, all right, all that matters is us in the room. Like we're the ones that are going to be out in the field making the plays.
No, I get it. That's the mentality you need if you're a player. Like you got to shut out the outside noise.
Right. But then saying stuff like that, like, and then expecting to not get any backlash, that's something that you just keep quiet. You say that in the locker room.
Exactly.
Like you walk in and you go, bleep those guys out there, like blah, blah, blah. But you don't go to the media and say it.
Yeah, you go to the media and you say, oh, thank you to our
You
fans
think every player in Philadelphia is cool with Philadelphia fans? Hell no. Like, we don't have to lie to ourselves.
Come on. Like, you said it a couple days ago, or maybe it was last week. You don't need everyone to like you.
No.
And I don't think anyone should be under the impression that everybody does. Nobody likes everybody.
No.
And no one is liked by everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just kind of how it goes.
I mean, how many times have we heard players leave this city eventually and talk trash? Like, it's just...
Yeah, there might be a safety in Detroit right now.
It's kind of normal. And it's not because we're terrible human beings, just because you might not rock with everybody in one spot.
Yeah, dog, these aren't...
People took the... I remember that when Carson Wentz went to Indy, and he said, like, this is kind of more like home or whatever. Oh, my God, people were so pissed.
Well, that pissed me off, too, but...
He wasn't saying I hated Philadelphians.
No, I know. I just got angry at it because I just like...
He's like, look, I'm kind of back in the Midwest, closer to where I was. I didn't take a problem to it.
No, but like that's the thing that people, I think, have trouble wrapping their head around. This is why we love guys like Bryce Harper so much.
Who would just buy right in and pander a little bit, but buy right in.
And we're probably kind of very Philly-ish to begin with, like outspoken, brash personality, don't care about the haters or anything like that. Just come in and produce and work hard. Like,
right.
That's our type of guy. But you got to realize this isn't like a high school team. This isn't the prep. Like, These guys aren't all from here. This is a grouping of people from across the country, and sometimes you get a weird ginger from North Dakota who doesn't fit in.
Right, exactly.
Like, it's just something you deal with.
It happens. 610-632-0975. That's the number to climb in. I believe the coordinators are speaking today, so I want to hear some of Brian Johnson, Connor, if we can, just to see how he's feeling after another week, because week 1 wasn't so great. Week 2, the game plan wasn't great going into it, but the adjustment was. So I'll be curious to see what Brian Johnson has to say about the Eagles through 2 weeks, and now they get set for their Monday night matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to hear your thoughts on this Thibodeau stuff and how we would react if that was one of our players, a Philadelphia athlete. I want to have the therapy session with you, talk about what's going on. Why are you feeling the way that you are about Philadelphia sports? Because I feel like everybody is just walking on eggshells right now. And I want to put pride aside. I'll explain why coming up. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports update.
Getaway day for the Phils. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here, National Queso Day. To celebrate, Qdoba is giving away a free large side of 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP at participating locations or online. The Phils lost to the Braves yesterday. It evens up their 3-game set with Atlanta down in Atlanta. 1 game apiece, and they'll have game 3 of that series, the getaway game, today at 12:20 p.m. Little midday baseball for you. Aaron Nola on the mound facing off against Bryce Elder for a chance for the Phillies to win their final regular season matchup with the Braves. The Eagles worked out 6 players yesterday, including William Jackson, a corner who was a first-round pick by Cincinnati back in 2016. They also checked out 2 running backs, an interesting note there, 2 linebackers, and a tight end. We'll keep you updated on any potential roster moves coming for the Eagles. And coming up at 12:30, you're going to hear from Matt Breen of The Inquirer on his latest thoughts on some of the big news around Philadelphia sports. This update was also brought to you by NJ Transit. What's your commute really costing you? See how much you could save by taking NJ Transit trains or buses. Get the details at njtransit.com/save. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the confidence and underdogs covering, the tension before a clutch turnover, and the pride of a parlay paying off. It's another chance to win big with all-day action. Plus, win your first $10 bet and get $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
Must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you open the BetParks app, you're in the zone. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moments. It's the energy of being all in, the passion of a perfect parlay, and the pure joy of a jackpot. It's another opportunity to win big every day of the week. Sign up for BetParks and get a welcome offer today. You play for fun, you love to win. You bet. BetParks.
Must be 21 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Get the quality electrical repair services you need. When you choose Horizon Services, an electrician will be on time, fully stocked for same-day repair or next-day installation services.
Are you dreaming of a backyard oasis? Are you looking for a pool installed in one day? Look no further than Pool Designs. Contact Pool Designs today to create the perfect pool for your home.
Paul B. Moyer. From blowers and trimmers to chainsaws and mowers, Paul B. Moyer & Sons in Doylestown and Jamison, PA have the best in outdoor power equipment, including parts and service. Visit in person or shop online.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your Preferred Pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Inflation has us all looking over our budgets. From groceries to travel, the cost of nearly everything has gone up. Prices of life insurance, though, have remained steady. This September, during Life Insurance Awareness Month, Select Quote could help you save more than 50% on term life insurance. For example, we found Jack a $500,000 policy for only $18 a month. In a hurry? Don't worry. We now offer up to $2 million in instant affordable coverage with no medical exam required. That's right, up to $2 million in affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam. Even if you already have coverage, there's a chance you no longer have enough. And as the cost of living continues to rise, it's more important now than ever to make sure your loved ones are protected. Call SelectQuote at 1-800-723-5220. That's 1-800-723-5220. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-723-5220. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Barbecue tip number 3 from Roland Dickey. Texas brisket. Hot and fast or low and slow. Roland taught us to smoke our brisket at 225 for 12 to 14 hours. Try our juicy sliced brisket sandwich on a buttered brioche bun. And make it a combo with a side in a 32-ounce Big Yellow cup starting at $11.99. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at Dickies.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
Yeah!
Hey, it's Cuz. Dust off those renovation plans. Start designing the kitchen of your dreams with help from Colonial Marble and Granite. Colonial Marble and Granite offering fully installed countertops for just $14.99. How about an all-in kitchen for $69.99? That includes cabinetry, countertops, sink and faucet package. You heard me right. $69.99 all-in kitchen. Stop by an area showroom to see their amazing selection of products or make an appointment for a free in-home consultation. Visit colonialmarble.net today.
Worried about your air conditioner melting down this summer? Don't sweat it. Just call your independent Delaware Valley trained comfort specialist for rebates and special financing offers on a new high-efficiency air conditioning system with whole house air filtration. You'll get cooler, cleaner, and healthier air throughout your home and lower energy bills, too. To get started, visit Train.com to find a Delaware Valley independent trained comfort specialist near you. It's hard to stop a train. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for details.
You have a job to do. You need power to do it. And depending on the time of year, heating or cooling. At United Rentals Power and HVAC, we have a job to do too. That's to make your job easier with 24/7 equipment rental, including generators, air conditioners, heaters, transformers, and load banks, plus certified engineered solutions. Get the right tool right now at United Rentals Power and HVAC. Exit 17 off 295 in South Jersey. Call 856-423-7820 or visit UnitedRentals.com.
September savings are here and prices are falling at Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury. With a huge selection of vehicles in stock and low financing options available, now is the time to get a new vehicle from Barlow Buick GMC. At Barlow, they treat their customers like family and always provide honest pricing and dedicated service. Stop by the dealership in Woodbury or visit them online at barlowautogroup.com. Come see what sets them apart from the rest. Experience the new Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Philly, we're coming back home to see you on September 23rd for a live taping of our Always Sunny podcast. So go ahead, get your tickets before they're gone.
Four Walls presents the Always Sunny podcast, live at TD Pavilion at the Man at Fairmount Park on September 23rd. Don't miss Glenn Howerton, Charlie Day, Rob McElhenney, and Megan Gans together live. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com and thealwayssunnypod.com.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic.
$11.50, 97.5, The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Got the cash contest, Kelly Green cash contest, coming up at 10 minutes, 9 minutes now, right at 12 o'clock. So your chance to win $1,000 coming up in 9 minutes. I have a response from Joe.
Oh,
Joe's the guy that emailed me last night and basically just ripped the Phillies apart. And this is why it's going to be a quick Red October and blah, 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 blah. So he responded. He said, thanks for including my rant in the show. He says, I will totally be fired up and lying to myself come the start of the playoffs. That's good. He said, but my you-know-what will be clinched, and I'll be holding my breath the entire way. Still don't want to ever watch Nola pitch for the Phillies after September. His body language and demeanor are infuriating. I don't disagree with you when it comes to Nola.
Yeah, dude.
But I will be, like he said, tight rear end. All right? But I'm not going to go into the game in game 2 of the wild card round being like, guess it's going to be up to game 3.
No.
Or if they, God forbid, lose game 1, let's say they face the D-backs and Zach Gallen gets the win, I'm not going to be sitting here going, that was a fun season. Or was it? I don't know. Season's over because Noel's not going to win. Like, I'm not going to do that. I will not have that attitude, even though I know it's been shaky all season long. I just hope come playoff time, people can get fired up and get behind the squad. And it's good to see that Joe will be, Connor, after your rant and response.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's a good spot for him to be at, and that's where I wanted fans to be. Again, you don't have to not be negative. You don't have to not get upset when things go poorly for the Phillies. When they lose, there are things that piss me off too. But they're a better baseball team than they are a bad baseball team, and they've earned the right for you at least to believe in them, even hesitantly, heading into the postseason.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's just you just gotta just feel good. Just feel good going into it. Another latest nothing story from the NBA.
Love it.
per Barry Jackson, who covers the Miami Heat, Damian Lillard is expected to request a trade to the Miami Heat if he gets traded to another team. We've already known this. Now, what happened to the whole Adam Silver thing, trying to shut down all these reports? That's not going away anywhere. So there's that. But yeah, a real nothing burger there. But what I wanted to do is say that we need to put our pride aside. And it's speaking of basketball.
How so?
James Harden. And I've come to a determination. I think a lot of you realize that he obviously has shortcomings, and that's why people don't want him back for the most part. I do believe that a lot of you also realize that he had a very good season. You want to ignore it. He had a very good season. He made Joel Embiid better. He has made Tyrese Maxey better. You think that there might be a higher ceiling for Tyrese Maxey, but we don't know yet. That's a gamble. If James Harden doesn't come back, you are gambling on Tyrese Maxey, and maybe that might be a good bet. But you're still gambling on Tyrese Maxey. I think because there was talks of him not wanting to come back, we are now spiteful. Then don't come back. I think we need to put our pride aside for once. James Harden gives you the best chance to do something this year. And we need to put our pride aside because I know a lot of people feel that way.
Kinda. I'm like half in, half out with you. Because, yes, we agree that James Harden gives his team the best chance to win.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any scenario where you end up moving James Harden and you end up in a better spot. Like, that's just not realistic at this point. But it's also not really that realistic to expect him to just come back and be good and be on this team and everything. Like, I don't know how they repair the relationship. I really don't. So, yeah, you could swallow your pride and say we need him back, but will it change anything? Like, I don't know. I don't know that he's not coming back because Philly fans are like, oh, well, now we don't want you. I think his beef is with Morey.
I think so, too, but I think people just want to get rid of him because of everything that's going on, too. Like, just cast him aside. He's gonna be a problem when he comes here. What if he is bought in?
I mean,
I'd rather take the first 10 games and see if he can get bought in.
Do you expect him to be? Like, I just don't.
What if they're 9-1?
I don't think he cares.
He might.
Yeah. Listen. Yes, he might. It's such a coin flip that I don't really look at the fan bases factoring into it as much.
All right. Do me a favor. Let's
Yes.
couch this for a second.
Okay.
Can you please call Pat Egan on the hotline?
Yeah.
Like this second.
Yeah, I'm on it.
I want you to do it. Do you know how to dial up on the board so that we can hear the ringer and everything?
Let me see if I can figure it out.
All right, never mind. Just call him on call.
Okay,
him.
I got you.
Just call him. Because this is very important. And you're probably sitting there going, why does he randomly want to call Pat Egan? And now knowing Pat Egan, he's not going to answer. And it's really going to piss me off. But we have a very important moment to discuss right now. And I'm just kind of stalling until Pat gets on.
It didn't even ring.
Dude, all right. Hold on a second. Can you call him on your cell? He's probably taking a nap or something right now, and I don't blame him. He gets up
I'm
early.
calling him.
He gets up early. I get it. But this is something that I need Pat to be a
right
part
to
of.
voicemail.
Damn it!
Just not even ringing. Dead to the world, Pat Egan. Parts unknown.
All right, now I'll do this without Pat.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't even know what's happening.
All right, let me see. Let me just hold on.
You gonna call?
No. Hold on. I'm just pulling up the. All right, so this happened January 28th of 2023. Now, the 23rd, January 22nd, 2023, this took place. But the 23rd, the Eagles completely obliterated the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
31-7. It wasn't even a freaking contest. 31-7, not even close. And then all the whining of the Niners fans and players. Well, if you allowed us to have 6 quarterbacks on our team, maybe we would have won. No, you wouldn't have. You all sucked. All their quarterbacks sucked. But the day before the game, that Saturday, my apologies, it was January 29th, so the call happened January 28th. We had a guy named Omar call in and just tried doing everything he could to rip the Eagles and rip Eagles fans. And he and Pat were going at it. And all I asked for Omar was to call in after the Eagles beat the Niners. Well, I'm not going to have to call in after the Eagles beat because the Niners. All I asked was for him to call in.
He didn't.
He didn't. But it's strange. I look on line 1, and I hope it's the same Omar from San Francisco. I don't know how many people are named Omar in San Fran.
Probably
calling into Philadelphia sports radio stations. But I hope it's him. What's up, Omar?
Let me tell you guys something, man. You guys think that you guys won with 3 backup quarterbacks.
Oh, my God. They got knocked out because of the defense. Your offensive line sucked. Your head coach is an idiot and had a tight end line up against Hassan Reddick. That's your own team's fault.
Put it on you this year. This year, you're going to get it this year. We cannot wait to face you week 13 to show you guys how much of little seagulls that you guys are.
Man.
You guys think you're so tough with a bottom feeder defensive line that almost got ran by the Vikings. You guys are going to get...
They had 4 players injured. What are you talking about, Omar? Watch a game for a second other than your 49ers where you're blinded. Brock Purdy sucks. Kyle Shanahan is an overrated head coach.
Horrible. Week 13, we are going to put a cross on you guys and bury you guys. Guess what, buddy? Jalen Hurts is overrated.
Jalen Hurts is overrated, but Brock Purdy's the next Tom Brady. That's what you're going to tell me? No, you are a fool, and you came up small last year. You had every chance to call in and say, and bow down and bend the knee as the Eagles just mollywopped the 49ers 31-7 last year, and you kept your mouth shut, and you were just like Debo and all those other losers that cried, get out of here. Just like all the other losers on the 49ers that said, oh, well, if you had a rule that allowed 17 quarterbacks to play, you probably wanted Joe Montana back out there and Steve Young back out there for Hassan Reddick to go and eat his face off. Because that's exactly what they did last year. That was your team's fault for having a tight end block Hassan Reddick. That's on you. Bottom feeder defensive line. Bottom feeder? Your offensive line blows. I love that he did not have the nerve, the balls, the tough guy mentality, as you clearly hear there. He didn't call in after the Niners got beat up by the Eagles. So he decides to call in months later when the Niners are 2-0. So are the Eagles, baby. And this is what I'm talking about. For all of you Eagles fans that are out there going, oh, well, I'm kind of scared the Eagles are 2-0, but it hasn't looked pretty. This is who we're dealing with. This is who we got to face in 11 weeks. And now that's why I'm angry that Pat Egan was around, because I wanted Pat to hear Omar back for the first time, crawled out from his little hole.
Cockroach.
Your team sucks. It's 12 o'clock. Let's give out some money.
Win $1,000 right now. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash.
Yes, it's your chance to win $1,000 in a brand new 2023 Birds Kelly Green jersey. Maybe you'll wear like a jersey with an NFC Championship patch on it, because the Eagles won the NFC Championship last year and not your loser franchise in San Francisco. Text the word CALL to 45911, CALL, call, or you can enter it on the Fanatic app or at 975thefanatic.com. One winner selected at random win $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Winners will get a call from Beasley, so be sure to answer your phone. Complete rules at 975thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash is presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand, call 1-800-90-LEGAL. Please never text and drive. Good luck. See, I love this. These delusional 49ers fans. Delusion. You had to beat our backup quarterback. Yeah, who the Eagles knocked out. So, Brock Purdy's your starting quarterback this year, who you guys are bowing down to the altar of Brock Purdy. Yeah, the Eagles beat Brock Purdy last year by knocking him out of the game. Cleanly, by the way. Wasn't a cheap shot. And just terrible protection by the 49ers head coaching staff and offensive line and the tight end that lined up against Hassan Reddick. Then you had that awful, was it Josh Johnson, who was the backup quarterback. He sucks.
So? I don't know.
Whatever. Don't tell me, if we had Garoppolo, well, You guys have been trying to trade Garoppolo for 3 years. If we had Trey Lance, you just traded Trey Lance in the offseason. Oh, if we had Andy Dalton, get the hell out of here, okay? So this 3-quarterback rule that you got, that's what's funny to me. No team's third-string quarterback is going to win anything, all right? So even if you had a third quarterback, no third-string quarterback is going to win anything.
Except Tanner McKee, baby.
And then all those delusional 49ers players like Debo and Brandon Ayuk and company, well, I mean, if we had our quarterback healthy, well, you didn't. And then they complained about the rule, and then there was the anonymous 49ers player that said it seemed like once Brock got hurt that the league was out to get us. And they called penalties in favor for the Eagles so that the Eagles would move on because they didn't want to see us in the NFC champion or in the Super Bowl with our situation.
When your quarterback gets hurt, you get worse.
Exactly. That's what happens. See, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need to feel like I'm out on an island now because the Eagles have been an ugly 2-0, and now I got to have 49ers fans chirping. I can't wait to see you week 13. That's how much real estate we have in Niners heads right now. And the Niners fans, the Niners players, they have been talking about week 13 since the second the schedule came out.
Congrats. Their Super Bowl came earlier this year.
I love it. I love that that's how much you care. You know what I care about? Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Monday night. That's all I care about right now because my team's good enough. And I don't have insecurities like your squad. I find it hysterical that you're calling into a Philadelphia radio station on September 20th when the game's not for another 11 weeks. I love it. Please do more of it. It's hysterical to me. But I need my Eagles fans to back me up here. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I know. I'm with you. That's what we're talking about.
So that guy called in the day before the NFC Championship game to me and Pat, did the whole same thing. We're going to beat you. Your team, blah, 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 blah. What happened? The Eagles won.
Yeah.
And did he ever call back? No, he did not. That guy never called back because he's a bitch. Ooh. Wow. What's he going to do?
I don't know. What are cross-country flights these days?
They're expensive, man.
Yeah,
this
you're
day
right.
and age.
You probably
And by the way, like, and then there's those the hosts out there, and I actually, the program director of that station used to be the program director here. They're talking about how awful we are as Philadelphia fans. You guys are terrible human beings, the 49ers fans. Terrible human beings. There has been murders in that stadium. Like, what? Come on.
Find some rocks and kick them.
We got another Niners fan. Do I even want to take this call?
I don't know.
And he's in Philly? Like, what do you... God.
You're the boss,
What's your problem, Derek?
What's going on, my man? No, look, I have no disagreement about what you're saying. I do believe that Debo, Brandon Ayuk, I do believe they did girl up. Now, I'm the only person in my house, of course, is a Niner fan.
Okay.
Look, you're absolutely right. They complain. Now, I will say this. When the quarterback did go down, it would have been a better game if he was playing. But everybody knew the third.
Dude, they got to him in like 6 seconds. I don't think it would have been a better game.
It probably. Well, we
the Eagles had 70 sacks last year, and it continued in the playoffs.
You guys got busy. I'm not. I don't know why people still talking about week 13. Let's get past week 3 first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I talked to John last time, so I had to eat my words last time when we got kicked out. I have no problem with that. We shouldn't even be focusing on the Eagles right now. But look, you guys with the better team. It happened when we see week 13. Week 13. But let's get past week 3, though. I don't know why. Now, I'm a Niner fan, but I don't know why we're still talking about what happened last year. You guys went to the Super Bowl. You got it. You won.
Yeah, and you know what? I got a problem with your boy Debo, right? Because Debo Samuel all offseason chirping. And then Zach Gelb, who used to work at the station here, had him on as a guest on his CBS show. And he asked him about week 13, and Debo hung up. I'm not focused on that anymore. But you were focused on it for like 6 months.
Yeah, they were. Because they were butthurt about that because they thought they was going to go to Super Bowl. At the end of the day, you can't be complaining. You guys were the better team. And like I said, I ate my words. You guys were the better team. Week 13, when it gets there, we get there. We're not even out of week 3 yet, so I don't even know why this should be an issue, though. But like I said, I just called to say all 49er fans do not think like that. But, guys, thanks for taking my call.
You're a little bit more reasonable. So I appreciate you, Derek. Thanks for the call. Have a great day. I hate your team still.
Yeah, we've talked to Derek a couple times on mornings. He's a good dude.
He's a little bit more reasonable than this Omar.
Now, come week 13, we're not taking calls from Derek or Omar or anybody.
I'm okay with a little back and forth.
Getting worked.
I'm okay with it. And you know what? If your team wins, go ahead, call back. And then we'll say, I'll see you in the playoffs. Because that's what ultimately matters, not a Week 13 game.
Yeah.
They have that circle because of their insecurities.
Why this week? Why now? From
I don't know.
Like, what are you doing? Don't you have something more to focus on in your life than the team that whooped you in the NFC Championship game last year?
I mean, probably. I'm disappointed, Pat. Phil Brooks tweeted, wake up, Pat. Andrew's trying to call you. It's not an emergency, but it is 911.
Yeah, we'll hear from Pat around 6 p.m.
Yeah, probably. And then the Bryant brothers threw a flag on the play for what I said about Omar.
Ooh.
Listen, man. He was afraid to call back.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He was afraid to call back. He gets all chesty. Call back. He doesn't call back. It's wild. I can't believe you have all that toughness to say, but the second it doesn't go well for you, you keep your mouth shut.
Fan bases take on the mentality of their team sometimes.
And that's the beauty of Omar. Omar is one of the cockroach local Cowboys fans. You're all chesty. And the second things go bad, which is every single year, that's when you disappear and you shut up. Where was that? Where's the energy at? Omar had all this energy on September 20th, but had no energy January 29th, the day after the Eagles just destroyed the Niners in the NFC Championship game. Energy was gone. Man, disappointing. The number to climb in is 610-632-0975, by the way. If you're an Eagles fan and would like to call, I got back-to-back Niners fans calling in. That's just absurd. I don't like it. Anyways. All right, so coming up next, I have a question about Jalen Hurts. He brought up Jalen Hurts and how Jalen Hurts is overrated, right? It's kind of funny how some things play into exactly what you plan. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is overrated, by the way. But I know that there are people outside of Philadelphia that feel that way. So I have a question about Jalen Hurts that I want to ask you coming up. And we also have Matt Breen. He'll be joining the show at 12:30. Oh, we have the Omar call from January?
We do. Ray Dunn grabbed it for us.
That's incredible work by Ray Dunn in the
available.
back. Way to go, Ray. All right, we'll play that too. Because I want you guys to hear what Omar had to say before the Eagles destroyed the Niners in the NFC Championship game. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas, and this is 97.5 The Fanatic. Snapping action this NFL season with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's it, $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, after you bet your first $5. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on all the action. Just visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic. The app's super easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I'd put the $5 down and try to win a big parlay. You're getting the $200 in guaranteed bets regardless. And then I'd use that $200 on a futures bet. And that futures bet would be the Eagles to win the NFC, because screw the San Francisco 49ers. So visit FanDuel.com/Fanatic and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 plus, President PA. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles activate Covey. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Coors Light. Looking for a place to watch the Union take on LAFC this Saturday pregame with the Fanatic at PJ Wellahan's Westchester starting at 6:30 p.m. Stay to watch the match, win Union swag and tickets thanks to Coors Light, proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Union. The Eagles have activated Britton Covey to the active roster after Avonte Maddox was placed on injured reserve. Maddox expected sometime this week to go through surgery to repair his torn pectoral muscle. Not sure how long he's out, but it will be an extended absence from the team, possibly season ending. The Birds also worked out 6 players yesterday, a cornerback, 2 running backs, linebacker, and tight end. That cornerback, William Jackson, a former first-round pick by the Bengals back in 2016. The Phils lost to the Braves yesterday down in Atlanta. They'll now play the getaway game, game 3 of that series today, 12:20 p.m. Some afternoon baseball. Aaron Nola faces Bryce Elder in the pitching matchup in that one. And don't miss coming up, Matt Breen will join Andy at 12:30. Talk a little bit about the latest going on in Philadelphia sports. This update was also brought to you by Qdoba. Mexican Eats, it's finally here. National Queso Day. To celebrate, Qdoba is giving away a free large side of 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP at participating locations or online. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Visit 975thefanatic.com to enter for a chance to win tickets as the Temple Owls battle the nationally ranked Miami Hurricanes this Saturday at 3 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. The first 2,500 fans receive a Joe Klecko replica jersey as part of Temple's celebration of Champions Day. For tickets, visit owlstix.com.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Bachman's Roofing is your local award-winning roofer. Now's the time to inspect your roof and protect your number one asset. Visit bachmansroofing.com to schedule a consultation and learn about financing options.
Chris Services, experienced electrical contractors located in Elmer, New Jersey, providing a wide variety of projects and services for residential, commercial, and industrial customers. 24-hour emergency service, 7 days a week.
Rockland Construction. Masonry, stamped concrete, outdoor kitchens, driveways, walkways. Rockland does it all. For a free, no-obligation estimate, call 610-357-6741.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your preferred pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's John Kincaid with more about my friends at Window Nation, because you're getting more from Window Nation. I love it when my clients make spectacular deals available to my listeners. But this one is ridiculous, because I'm going to tell you, who is giving you no interest on a loan for 2 full years? Who's doing that? Well, Window Nation's doing that. And the more windows you buy, the more you save, up to 50% off. Plus, with 2 years, no interest and no payments, it's amazing. Your wallet's in your pocket. It's a fantastic deal, and it delivers more for your home. You're going to get the energy savings, the features, and the options, and the value and beauty, too. You're upgrading that home. Check out windownation.com and do your window shopping online. And then call them at 866-90NATION and say, I want free money for 2 full years. Because they're giving it to you, and nobody else is doing that. Buy 11 to 15 windows, get 40% off. Buy 5 to 10 windows, get 30% off. The more you buy, the more you save. Whatever size your order is, but no money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. The only thing you won't get is more time. Call 866-90NATION today. That's 866-90NATION. Window Nation's the perfect fit.
Looking for a checking account that's built for you? Whether you love earning cash back or don't want fees or a minimum balance requirement, Citadel Credit Union has you covered. Plus, get a $300 bonus. Easily deposit checks right from your phone. Receive instant account alerts to stay updated. And simply tap and go with your contactless debit card. For a limited time, get $300 when you open a new checking account at citadelbanking.com/radio. Citadel Credit Union, a Forbes Best in State credit union. Federally insured by NCUA.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from BQ Basements and Concrete. We put water back in its place. Go to basementsbybq.com. License number PA 158514, 13VH11822-900.
We're introducing Wendy's newest addition to the morning lineup. Say hello to Wendy's all-new English muffins. They are here and they are ready for breakfast. Choose between our tasty grilled sausage, a fresh cracked egg, and gooey cheese, or that Applewood smoked bacon, fresh cracked egg, and gooey cheese. All of that comes sandwiched between a warm English muffin. These English muffins are the perfect way to start the day. All you gotta do is pick one. Grab an English muffin for breakfast this morning. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's breakfast at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Guys, if you have the brains of a quarterback but the belly of a lineman, don't throw in the towel. Hi, this is Dr. Avidan Appel from Iron Mountain Men's Health. If diet and exercise haven't worked for you in the past, it's time to try Ozempic, the prescription injectable that's sweeping the nation. Ozempic patients have reported losing up to 15% of their body weight. Now that's a smart play. Book your free consultation today at ironmountainmenshealth.com. Iron Mountain Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health.
The AAA Eagles MVP membership is in full flight. Eagles MVP members receive all of the amazing benefits of AAA, along with Eagles rewards and experiences no Eagles fans will want to miss. Get discounts at the Eagles Pro Shop, chances to win tickets to every home game, pre-game sideline passes, exclusive invites to MVP events, and more. Join now and new members will get a $20 gift card to the Eagles Online Pro Shop, and you'll be immediately eligible to win Eagles rewards. Go to AAA.com/Eagles for details and join the flock today.
September savings are here, so start the fall off with a brand new car from Barlow Chevrolet. At Barlow, you'll find a large selection of popular models like the 2023 Equinox, Tahoe, or Silverado. There's something for everyone at Barlow. Plus, the friendly and experienced staff at Barlow is always there to make the buying process simple and convenient with honest prices and dedicated service. Barlow delivers for you. So find new roads at Barlow Chevrolet in Delran or visit barlowautogroup.com.
Adam Schefter plays on one station in Philly, 97.5, The Fanatic.
12:18, 97.5, The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. I'm fired up right now. 12 o'clock hour brought to us by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. The great Ray Dunn, who's in the back today, found the audio of the call from Omar right before the NFC Championship game. We'll play that later on the show, just so you guys know who I was dealing with. There's a reason why I was so angry going at it with Omar not that long ago in the previous segment. There's a reason. Because the guy got all chesty not that long ago and then got quiet and then disappeared. By the way, the Philadelphia International Airport, Connor.
Okay, heard of it.
There was a survey. They come in dead last in customer satisfaction among large airports for the third year in a row. Three-peat for Philadelphia International.
Love that.
I've never really had a problem.
I have.
Okay. Like, and, knock on wood because I'm flying out on Friday, but I don't remember. Like, I've had issues at other airports. Denver, I had a very tough time getting out of there. Everything was broken. Like, all their security stuff was down one day, and I was like, oh, that's great. Get on a plane. And it took forever. We almost barely made our flight. But I never really experienced. Now, I don't fly all that much. I try to avoid it as much as possible.
Right, yeah. You're a driver, not a flyer?
Yeah, I have fear of flying.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Even though I do. I just drink a lot before, and then I get on. It's a little bit easier now.
You don't have a fear of drinking.
No. But yeah, a three-peat. So you've had a bad experience?
Yeah, once or twice. The most memorable one was when we went to Vegas with Philly Sports Trips. And it was nothing on Philly Sports Trips,
No,
obviously. They do an exceptional job, but you can't handle like how the bags get through the airport. And we got back, and we were waiting at the baggage claim for if anyone packed the bag. And there were other people there. It was just taking a long time. Literally, we were there for probably about like 45 minutes to an hour waiting for bags to come out.
Yeah, it sucks.
But it was great because it just so happened that the first bag down the chute
was yours.
Was my suitcase.
Selfish.
No, it's not that, because I got the opportunity to run up there and grab it and lift it over my head for the crowd.
Oh, so everybody was excited. Okay, well, that's good.
It was great. It's the greatest moment of my life. I think about it daily.
Wow, it's good for you, man. It's all downhill from there. Speaking of Vince and Philly Sports Trips, I just want to put out a little PSA for the people. So we're flying down on Friday, me, Bob, and Pat. I'm flying down Friday night by myself, but Bob and Pat and the great Rob Grossman, incredible engineer, they're flying down the charter flight with hundreds and hundreds of Eagles fans that are going to Tampa from Philly Sports Trips. The tailgate, if you're flying on your own, like if you're going down on your own, or let's say we have callers from North and South Carolina, maybe you're just driving down because you're a little bit closer, or we also know that there's tons of Eagles fans that have just relocated to Florida, and they might be going up. Like a buddy of mine is going to the game. He lives in Florida full time. I'm going to I'm going to catch up with him while I'm down there. I'm looking forward to it. But he lives in Florida full time. And he's still an Eagles fan, and so is his fiance, and so they're going to drive up for the game from where they're at in Florida. But you can buy a tailgate ticket. So, like, let's say you're going, you have tickets to the game, you already have your travel taken care of, but you want to hang out with Eagles fans, you can still buy Vince's tailgate package. His website's phillysportstrips.com, so check that out, and you can click on, like, tailgates instead of, like, the actual flights and stuff. You can click on the tailgate packages that they have, and they do have one. He's got over 500 people already at this tailgate. And if you're somebody that goes, wow, it sounds like a lot of people. I went to the Eagles-Commanders game last year when there was over 1,100 Eagles fans. I never had to wait for a beer at the tailgate. I never had to wait for food. It was awesome.
Yeah, his tailgates are
so
dangerous.
He knows what he's doing.
It's dangerous because you'll never want to, like, pregame a game any other way.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it's like, what have I been doing with the rest of my life when you're at a Philadelphia, like a Philly Sports Trips tailgate? They do it better than anybody.
Yeah, they really do. So if you are going to the game, if you're going to the Eagles-Bucks game Monday night, but you're not flying with Philly Sports Trips, or you already live near the Tampa area and you're just going to be driving there, check out the website, phillysportstrips.com, because the tailgate still has tickets available, and he does such a great job with it. I can't wait to be a part of it, but I hope that a lot of you, especially if you want that taste from home, right? You get to hang out with hundreds of Eagles fans before a game, and then we all walking together. That's the coolest part. Like, you're walking together ready for battle, which I think is really cool. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to EJ in Southwest Philly. EJ, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, EJ? You want to talk Jalen Hurts, huh?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
So what do you got? Because I'm going to bring up something about Jalen Hurts, but as an Eagles fan, I want to hear you first before, I talk to a 49ers fan.
I mean, first of all, I want to say, relax, calm down. He'll get everything in order, That's what great quarterbacks do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 2 games in. You got to settle down. The offense got to click. The defense got to click. Special teams got to click. And then we off and running, Missing a couple reads, that's all good. He just look at the film and he'll get it right,
Yeah, and it's funny, EJ. So I'm doing like a therapy session today for people because I feel like a lot of people are walking on eggshells, walking on thin ice, whatever phrase you want to use. I had somebody ask me yesterday. It was one of my buddies. I won't say who, but one of my buddies goes, he was not sold on Jalen Hurts. Obviously saw that he had an incredible year last year. And then when they gave him the big contract, he was happy that they, rewarded him for what he did. And through 2 weeks, he's already saying, oh, man, did they pay him too early? And I'm like, dude, come on. We can't be saying this for 2 weeks. But I know that he's not alone in that thought process.
I mean, did they pay Justin Herbert too early?
Right, exactly.
We need to talk about, come on, relax. Take it easy. Let the guy become an athlete. Let the guy develop on the field. That's what I'm saying right now. They didn't pay him too early. They paid him what he was worth.
Yep.
To be honest with you, and let the guy do his job now. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, EJ, I agree with you, right? And it's 2 weeks with a new offensive coordinator too, so you're still trying to work through that kind of stuff. And I appreciate the call, but my buddy last night was not alone. I had somebody texting me through both games so far, and I was like, man, Hurts doesn't look good. Hurts doesn't look good. And then in week 2, it was like, wow, he doesn't look better. This is kind of start to scare me.
Guess what? Burrow hasn't looked good. Mahomes hasn't looked good.
That's what that's why I've been pointing out through 2 weeks so far. But
right.
I think there are people that are starting to almost we look for anything to tear down the armor of the Eagles because we have Super Bowl expectations. And now all of a sudden we're going after Jalen Hurts, and he just got the big contract.
No, you know what it is? It's not just looking for it. So, right, I live in the city now, but I grew up in the burbs. I grew up in South Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be used to the suburbs, and my neighborhood is a quiet place. But now the city, if you walk around, there's people around constantly. I don't care if it's 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. When you walk around the suburbs, now it freaks me out because there's nothing there. There's not a person for a billion miles.
Yeah, I got you.
The Eagles have moved to the suburbs since they became really good. And we're just looking around like, I'm so used to just there being people. There's nothing to focus on here. There's nothing to worry about. There's nothing and it's just a general of the emptiness of not having concerns with this team is making you worry about oh, okay, something's going to pop up, and you're trying to find stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to find something to be, I guess, more manic about when it comes down to it. Now, we got Matt Breen coming up at 12:30, but I just mentioned Vince from Philly Sports Trips, and I appreciate him listening to the show. What up, Vince?
Yo, guys. How we doing?
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm glad it was good timing for you to listen.
Hey, man, whenever I'm in the car, I'm listening to you guys.
You're the man.
For sure.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for this weekend and Monday night, dude.
So, the tailgate's blowing up, guys. We have David Akers and Hollis Thomas, 975, the Fanatic crew. Devontae Smith's family may or may not stop by. Talked to Brandon Graham's dad earlier today. So, I mean, there's some VIPs that might be showing up to this thing, and we're ready.
Yeah, dude, and I mean it. I don't want to say you have so many people and then that scare people away. I had the privilege of going down with you to Landover for the Eagles-Commanders game last year, and you had over 1,000 people at that tailgate, and I never waited once. Like, I was never like, man, I'm not going to have anything to drink. Like, dude, it was so well run, and you had over 1,000 people. So 500, 600 so far, that's a cakewalk for you.
That's normal nowadays. You know, Cavs Catering, my partner, Bob, he does over probably 20 or 30 tailgates that are over 1,000 people every year. It sounds like a ton of people, but we make it work. Like, you just have to have the right amount of caterers, right amount of bartenders. You can rest assured that we've done this before, and it won't be a shoulder-to-shoulder kind of thing. You'll have plenty of room to meet your friends and have a great time. We're flying down E-Rock because we don't trust any other DJ.
Yeah, man.
Fly them everywhere. It's going to be a party. So we just wanted to say, definitely try us out if you haven't yet. Make sure you check in on Tunis at the tailgate. Make sure he's not getting into any trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you got to worry about me. I did already say to Bob, because he's flying down with you guys on the charter flight. I'll be flying down at night. You guys got to let me know where you're at, because I need a beer waiting for me after I land.
We'll be ready, man. We'll be waiting for you.
Damn right. All right, Vince, you're the man. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it, dude. It's awesome.
Love you guys.
There he is, the great Vince from Philly Sports Trips. Just incredible. Good. I mean, I swear to God, that was not planned. He just so happened to be listening, and that makes me happy.
I like Vince. I don't like you and Bob Cooney and Pat Egan about now.
Sorry. Matt Breen joining us any second now, so if you can give Matt a call. Obviously, there's a day game going on for the Fightins. And an early 1-0 lead for the Phils. That's good. Go Phillies. Screw the Braves. Screw the 49ers. Screw all these teams that people think are going to get in our way. I don't like it. Stop it. As we wait for Matt Breen, let's go to Saeed in Mount Laurel. Saeed, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, dude?
Nothing, man. I just wanted to talk about Hurts a little bit. I don't know, man. I think that you guys are. You were kind of unfairly criticizing him, man. The first game.
Who, me?
No, the host.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the host.
Yeah.
I didn't criticize him.
Well, not criticize him. I mean, not you. I'm sorry. I was listening to the last caller.
Okay, I was gonna say, look, he's had a rough start to the season, but I'm not about to, jump ship and say, oh my God, I wish I could wave a magic wand and get that contract reversed.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm going to misconstrue
that.
No,
you're good.
Because, listen, the first game, he's going up against the hoodie, right?
Yep.
Who's game planning for him, one of the best defensive minds ever, the best, right? Look what he did last game to Tua, right? He kept him, he held him back too, right? And
yes,
Tua
he did.
Gone off the prior week. So, I mean, he went up against the hoodie, still won, right? We were up 16-0. A lot of that was coaching, and we could have kind of, made it an easier game. And then last week, they're dropping back cover 4, 8 people in coverage. No one's open. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was Brian Flores, who's from the Bill Belichick tree. So Flores had an idea of what to do after what Belichick did in week 1. And it slowed him down. And then in the second half, Jalen Hurts played well.
That's a great point. Exactly. It's Flores, and he played well. And I think that the coaching staff, the new coordinator, was it Brian Johnson, he deserves a lot of credit.
Yes, he does. I did not like the game plan going into the game, but he realized, all right, let me make an adjustment and go to a run-heavy offense. And look what happened. DeAndre Swift rushes for 175 yards.
And how many times in the past, as Eagles fans, have we gone in and said, run the ball, or if something's not working, do the opposite.
Right.
Keep doing it, and it never happens, right? So he deserves a lot of credit. Jalen Hurts he was well-deserved the contract. He's a character guy. He's a leader. It's not just about, he doesn't have an 80-yard arm, and he's not always on. You know what I mean? He's got so many other intangibles. We're so lucky to have him. I think that we're going to be great, and it's going to come down to us and the Niners and the Cowboys. Those are the 3 dominant teams.
And we've been saying that since before the season started, and that's how it's going to come down. Thanks for the call, Saeed. I appreciate it. Let's head to the Comcast Business Hotline to talk to my man. I love having the chance to speak to him every single week, the great Matt Breen. Matt, what's going on, man?
What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, just another day in radio, Matt.
Yeah.
Just another day in radio. All right, so the Eagles are 2-0. And, Matt, to start the show today, I wanted to have a therapy session. With everything that's going on, people have been very kind to me, Matt, and everybody's been checking in, seeing how I'm doing, right? So now I'm trying to reverse and see how everybody else is doing because I feel like everybody is just waiting for a Phillies implosion and an Eagles implosion because you would think over the last 2 weeks the Eagles are 0-2 and that the Phillies were about to get eliminated from the playoffs. It's been strange.
It's a weird time. It's like 'cause you have 10 days between Eagles games, so we have to be worried about something, even though they're 2-0. And then the Phillies, they're in a weird spot too because they can't clinch the NL East, obviously, and they're most likely going to clinch the first wild card spot. So it's like it's kind of boring. Like, well, it's just a matter of time until they clinch a playoff spot. So it almost makes you, I guess, like manufactured worry. I can't be concerned about the Eagles. I thought your last caller actually laid it all out there. It's like, not only did they, play against Belichick, but you open the season against Belichick on the road. He had all off season. That was his main target, was game planning for Jalen Hurts.
And Matt, I've been joking around. I feel like my TV must have been broken because I feel like I'm the only one that also pointed out that the weather wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like people were acting like Jalen Hurts should have thrown for 400 yards in that game.
And then game 2, I guess you should just, like you said about, the defense that Flores was throwing at them. I guess you just keep throwing, even though that's all they're doing is playing the pass. So just keep throwing at it, or they're giving you the run. They probably don't think you can run the ball because of what happened in week 1. And DeAndre Swift runs for 175 yards. Like the one drive where they just ran. They were staring the Vikings like, are you going to respond or are you going to just keep playing the pass? So you it's cliche, but you take what they give you, and that's what the Eagles did. At the end of the day, your job's to win a football game. And
it's just strange, right? Because Matt, like I feel like look, you're from the area, so you know the deal. There's the mindset of, all right, I'm going to think like the world is going to come to an end, but if the sun rises the next day, I'm happily surprised. And if the world did end, well, I was expecting it, so I'm not as hurt, right? And I feel like a lot of people are doing that right now. But what I'm confused is 2 weeks ago we were talking Super Bowl. Now it's, oh my God, they're 2-0, but they look like they could be 0-2, and all of a sudden we lost all confidence.
Yeah, they're 2-0, probably going to be 3-0.
Yep.
They have a really dynamic running back for the first time in a while, and a guy who I don't think it was just one night. I think that the rest of the season you're going to have a weapon back there in DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a quarterback who has a track record big enough that he's an elite quarterback in the NFL. And if you want to just use two games, the week 1 and week 2, which is always in the NFL, the worst sample size. When you look at the end of the season and you see who was leading the league in yardage after 2 weeks, or catches, or touchdown passes, it's like it's not those guys. In week 1 and 2. So
right.
It's like it's such a reactionary thing, and I really do believe it's such a weird gap to go from Thursday to Monday. It's a lot of time off. It's a lot of time of watching other NFL games, and a lot of time to kind of stew and to be paranoid about something.
And I think the worst thing, which is what's leading to a lot of people's mindset, is like they ignore the fact that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are 0-2 and have not looked good, but the Cowboys and Niners have looked good, and they're both 2-0.
Yeah, and who have the Cowboys played? And who have the Niners played?
Oh, yeah, exactly. They beat an awful Giants team in week 1, and then Zach Wilson in week 2. That's the Cowboys.
And the Niners battled against the Rams, who are practically tanking. So
yeah,
I just, again, it's 2 weeks. Those teams, like the Niners, is probably one of your roadblock playoff teams, sure. But I'm not thinking, if I'm laying out power rankings in the NFC, I'm not judging those 2 weeks and saying, you know what, that's the teams the Eagles have to chase. I think the Eagles are still easily at the top of the NFC, and they're 2-0. And the Vikings, I think Vikings are they're a good team.
They won 14 games last year.
Yeah, they're consistently in the last few years, under Kirk Cousins, even before that with the NFC Championship game, they've been consistently good. They're not a joke. Obviously, the best receiver in football on the team.
Yeah, and people get upset that they had good numbers in week 2. And I go, well, first off, it is Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins is a professional quarterback. And let's not ignore the fact that Bradbury, Blankenship, Dean were all out. You lost Avonte Maddox in this game. Of course, the Vikings were going to have a better day offensively after their week 1 terrible performance against Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I left that game Thursday night. I'm like, wow, that was great. DeAndre Swift was awesome. This team could be, if DeAndre Swift is as good as we thought he was going to be, this team could be really good.
Speaking of Matt Breen, of the Inquirer and Inquirer.com. Sorry, Matt.
Now we get to Wednesday, and it's like, none of that matters.
No, none of it matters. And so now we go from Eagles, concerns to Phillies. I want to read you an email, Matt. This is what I got last night. So two nights ago when the Phillies beat the Braves, the first game of the series, I tweeted out that it was a statement win. Because if you're a Braves fan or if you're a Braves player and the Phillies come into your hometown and they put up a 7 spot and you lose 7-1 to Zach Wheeler, right? It's not like Lorenzen all of a sudden threw a gem. It was Zach Wheeler, the guy that you're going to face in the playoffs. I get bad flashbacks of the NLDS if I'm a Braves fan or a Braves player. So I put out that tweet, and then the next night they lose, right? So I got a tweet last night from Joe, or an email from Joe, and the title of the email is "Regret That Tweet." And here's what he says. And this is one email, but this is where I think a lot of people are right now with this team. He says, tonight's Phillies game is why you don't put out that tweet. Pitching sucks other than Wheeler. This is going to be a quick red October. Just is. We don't have the pitching like we did last year. Lorenzen is horrible. You can't pitch him after the regular season. Same with Sir Anthony. Soto is trashed most of the time except for the occasional 3 and out like he had last night. You never know which Alvarado you're going to get, and he's been bad since his second stint from the IL. Nola and Walker stink, especially Nola. I don't ever want to watch Nola pitch for the Phillies again after September. Rangers a toss-up. It's not happening this year. They could get hot, but the pitching will end up ruining them. You want to call me negative? Fine. I'd say I'm being practical with what I've watched all season. That is the mindset of a Phillies fan right now, Matt.
Yeah, there is some truth in that.
Yes.
I don't think he's, a paranoid, crazy person. I think there's the pitching is legitimate, and that's my concern. When I'm thinking of Monday night, the first game of the series, I'm thinking of the Braves are on pace to win 100 and some games, and the Phillies obviously aren't. But when you get to the playoffs, it's just last year I think showed us it's a different game, especially now with the wild card. It's almost like the NHL playoffs or the NBA playoffs where the regular season doesn't matter that much. And that's great that you had, you're on 700 clip the all season or whatever. But it's a best of 5. You win one game on the road, and it's throw out your best guys. I don't care who your 5th starter is or 4th starter; it doesn't really matter. You really get by with 2 starters. So I just think there's a road, even though the pitching is as shaky as it is right now, past Wheeler, and I think Sanchez is good. Sanchez probably should start a playoff game. I think there's still a road there, and I think your guys are playoff. It's our playoff team. I think that's what Dave Dombrowski built more. And this sounds stupid, but that's just the way I was thinking Monday. It's instead of a regular season team, he built a playoff team, a team of stars, guys that can rise to the big moments, guys that can turn it on at a moment's notice. And I think that's what they have to hope happens. And I think there's some credence in that can happen. It's just the pitching is really, obviously the biggest question.
Matt, great stuff as always. Now, I want you to talk about some of the stuff you have in the Inquirer. Now, I remember you telling us a few weeks ago that you had a chance to talk about Chase Utley, and you're talking to a lot of the guys from the 08 team. And the story that you have on Pat Burrell and also Joe Blanton were fantastic and fascinating. Can you talk about them a little bit?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It was it's running all week in the Inquirer and Inquirer.com, and it's about 7 stories right now. It might grow a little bit because
yeah, you said you might have more from Utley down the road because of some of the stuff you got into.
Yeah, but this was more all the 2008 Phillies are officially retired now with Cole Hamels out of the game. So I thought with the 15-year anniversary, it's a nice way to check in and be like, how did you adjust to life? You're on this ride playing baseball from high school to college to the minors to the majors, and then it ends. And some guys, they welcome that end, and some guys don't. And I thought Pat Burrell was incredibly honest about how he struggled to find his identity. He drank a lot more after he retired, had to go to rehab, get sober 5 years ago, and now he has a job working in the minors with the Giants, which is a team he retired with, and he helps their minor league players, hitters. And he says, I don't really worry about the mechanical things. Or they have guys that do all that stuff. I kind of just talk to them and talk about my experiences and the bad things I went through, the good things that I went through, and I thought he was really cool. It was one of those stories that you get off the phone and it's like, wow, that you're thankful that he he said that. He didn't have to tell me that. He's like, I asked him I just asked him that question. How did you adjust? And how is that getting off that ride? And he's like, I have no problem telling you this. I went to rehab, and I was like, oh my God, wow, that's not what I expected. You never know what you're walking into some of these times with the story, and that was great. Utley was awesome from England. That was a couple weeks ago. Joe Blanton owns a vineyard in Napa Valley.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Joe Blanton.
Yeah.
Big Joe, man.
He took college courses to learn all about it. He has people that really do the day-to-day stuff, but he goes in. He's as hands-on as he can be. He's also a smart guy to know that he doesn't want to mess anything up.
Right.
And one that's like this is Greg Dobbs, which is obviously was key parts of his team. His bench player. That's what that team was. They had a lot of guys that they had stars, but they had a lot of really good role players. And Dobbs was the best pinch hitter in baseball in 2008, and he is now a financial analyst or financial advisor in California, which I just think is interesting too. Because it's like, usually these guys, they go into baseball or they do something else, and like this guy, he took a job that a normal person would do. So it was cool talking to him. He was great, just about how it actually helps him. His baseball career has helped him with what he's doing now, and it was a neat week, especially for I was like a freshman in college or a sophomore in college when 2008 was happening. So it's like really the end for me. Like that was the payoff of being a Phillies fan, your whole life. And it's like finally it happens. And next thing you know, college picks up, work picks up, and you become like a journalist and you kind of lose that. So to have on my fridge, like a Post-it note with 7 names of who I have to call and what day I'm calling. It's like
right.
I grew up like, and I had a chance. Like we got off the phone with Burrow. I told him, I said, you know what? I was like in 5th grade when they drafted you, and you were like the guy that me and my buddies loved. So it's like, it's great to talk to you and hear that you're doing well, and to have that connection. Like we look at these guys as like idols or stars as kids, and then now I'm talking about like real life issues, and it was just. We're all just people at the end of the day. So
and some of these real life issues are important, man. So it's good. Like hopefully Pat Burrell's story helps somebody else out that's reading it. So amazing work, Matt. Seriously, you did a great job with it, Matt. And I love that you come on with us, and I can't wait to talk to you next week.
I appreciate it. Take care.
There he is, Matt Breen of the Inquirer, Inquirer.com. Yeah, some good stories. I read them this morning when I knew Matt was coming on.
Yeah, I got to check those out.
Yeah, the Pat Burrell story was interesting because we know, how many times you talked about the legend of Pat the Bat and walking around Old City, right? So how about that? Pretty great story. Great work by Matt Breen, as always. The number to climb in is 610-632-0975. Coming up next, we're going to do something. We started this last Wednesday, and we'll continue to do it every Wednesday moving forward. I want to run through the NFC East and then the NFC, the top contenders that are going to be battling with the Eagles for that top spot in the NFC. And some weeks we will mention some teams and some weeks we won't. Like the Lions are one of those teams where we mentioned them last week. They end up losing to the Seahawks. It's a little fraudulent. It's still too early to say that they are, so we'll bring them up. But we'll run through the NFC and the NFC East, our thoughts on the other teams that will be competing with the Eagles coming up as the season progresses. And also a very, very strange story about a baseball player and his idea of his own personal sports science.
Huh.
I'll give you. Did you see this?
Yeah.
It was a picture.
Yep.
So weird. I'll give that to you guys come up as well right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Heading down the home stretch, I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here, National Queso Day. And to celebrate, Qdoba is giving away a free large side of 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP, that's DRIP, at participating locations or online. The Phils are heading down the home stretch of the regular season. They fell to the Braves yesterday, in part because of Michael Lorenzen's rough 5th inning. He only recorded 1 out in the 5th inning while giving up 4 runs. It was not a great performance for the Phillies. They have a chance to bounce back today, though. They're playing some afternoon baseball against the Braves in the getaway game of that series. Aaron Nola facing off against Bryce Elder. The Eagles worked out 6 players yesterday, including William Jackson, a cornerback who was a first-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals back in 2016. They also worked out 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, and a tight end. You just heard Matt Breen join Andrew here on Middays to talk a little bit about his work over at the Inquirer and his thoughts on the Eagles and Phillies. You can listen back to that interview in full, podcasted on our website at 975thefanatic.com. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and information. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
The big sports stories everyone is talking about in Philadelphia. The John Kincaid Show. Tomorrow morning 6 to 10. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in on the NFL action with great offers every single game day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away an instant winner. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you're in on the action. So download the app now and sign up with the code FANATIC. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL with the code FANATIC. The crown is yours. Must be 21 or older. Pennsylvania only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
As summer fades, it's time to recharge your home with Preferred Pros. From refreshing interiors to enhancing curb appeal, make this the season of stunning transformations. For jobs big or small, count on the Preferred Pros team of trusted and reliable professionals to tackle your projects today.
Bachman Solar. Solar is more affordable than you think. Receive federal tax credits and apply for 0% financing with solar solutions at bachmansroofing.com.
Metropolitan Veterinary Associates in Norristown are here for your pet's special needs. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They never close for emergencies. Find them at metro-vet.com.
Advanced Electrical Services Group. Generac is the name you can trust for automatic standby home generators. Advanced Electrical Services Group provides sales and service to match. Go to advancedesg.com for your free estimate.
This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. Find your Preferred Pros at 975thefanatic.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code IMPACT at checkout. That's harrys.com, code IMPACT. Enjoy.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the party, less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Roll it back. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party wine. So our chicks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Philadelphia Union fans, pregame with 97.5 The Fanatic at PJ Wheelahan's Westchester this Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. Stay to watch the match as the Union take on LAFC. Enjoy Coors Light on special, win great prizes including Union swag and tickets. It's your last chance to sign up to win a road trip to see the Union play New England Revolution on October 21st with Philly Sports Trips. For details, go to the events page on 975thefanatic.com.
Coors Light is a proud sponsor of the Philadelphia Union. Dupe and chill. Coors Light is made to chill.
This month, everyone can get a free computerized battery check at AAA Car Care Centers. If you need a new battery, you'll save $25 on the spot. Only at AAA Car Care. See store for details or visit AAA.com/mycar.
Supermarkets and stores need to keep you safe. So if you get hurt anywhere by anything, you could have a case. Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy, and it's free. You only pay if you win your case. Price check.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I just had the best experience. My daughter went to the doctor and everything she needed was covered.
Everything? What insurance do you have?
Kids Partners, the CHIP plan from Jefferson Health Plans. It covers doctor and dentist appointments, ER visits, prescriptions, and more. Plus, my daughter can also get a new pair of glasses. They even offer free gym memberships.
Visit hpplans.com or call 866-599-0809 to learn more about Kids Partners, a part of Jefferson Health Plans.
This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5, The Fanatic.
$12.54, 97.5, The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Thanks to Matt Breen, who joined the show last segment. Now, Connor, during the break, goes, hey, do you want to play this Omar call? Omar is a San Francisco 49ers fan who randomly called me and Pat last year before the NFC Championship game and talked all kinds of smack, got all chesty. They got obliterated, and then he never called back. I did ask him to call back if the Niners lose, and he, of course, refused. And then he called back earlier today, finally. And we tried getting Pat on the phone with Omar, but Pat was napping, I guess, because he does do the morning show, so I understand it. So what I want to do is save it for tomorrow, and I want to get into rivalry stuff tomorrow. And I want to play the audio for Pat that happened today, and also, you know, back in the NFC Championship game. We'll go back down memory lane. So I'll have Pat sit in for a segment tomorrow, early in the show.
Love it.
All right, we're going to do our run-through of the NFC and the NFC East in a second. But Justin Fields spoke to the media. And it's funny because I saw the first quote, but I did not see the follow-up. And Ray came in and read me the follow-up, and I was like, wait, what? So Justin Fields acknowledged that he has been playing too robotic to start the season. Somebody asked him for an explanation as to why, and he said, coaching.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. We're 2 weeks in, and we already got a quarterback calling out the coaches.
Batten down the hatches in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen.
So, of course, they're running like this with, you know, crazy in Chicago. This guy, Dan, who covers the Bears for the Tribune, is the one that tweeted out this, the quotes. So I wonder what's going to happen with that.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to turn it around, and my Bears to win the NFC North pick is never looked smarter.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to work out for you.
That's an all-time bad one.
And they're about to play the Chiefs, too, this week.
Oh, well, that's a win.
And there's now issues in the locker room.
Yeah, they're rallying.
And Ian Rappaport quote tweeted it with, "Welp." So, apparently this is a thing. Like, this isn't just, out of context or anything.
Well, there have been breakdowns left and right on social media about, how there's routes that the Bears are running that, don't exist.
Yeah.
And just terrible play design and everything, but terrible quarterback play, too. That organization's a mess.
Yeah, it is right now. And Justin Fields is a mess through 2 weeks. I can't believe that this is going on. So this guy, Dan, who covers the Bears, so he put out a thread of tweets. And he says, my jaw is on the floor right now, just a head-spinning morning on, whatever he's doing. 1920 football drive, because that's, I'm guessing, where the practice facility is. Said a quick recap. Bears left tackle Braxton Jones is headed to the IR with a neck injury. It could potentially be season-ending. The Bears would like to keep Darnell Wright where he is, but are having discussions on whether to move him to left tackle. The Allen Williams situation continues to get more mysterious, with Matt Eberflus declining to give an update or clarify on any part of it, including whether Williams is still employed as the defensive coordinator. Justin Fields acknowledged he has been playing too robotic, then bit off the pin of the grenade and rolled into the building with his explanation for why he believes this way with coaching. He says, wow, a lot more on that in a bit. For a team on a 12-game losing skid and heading to KC to face the reigning Super Bowl champs, there are a lot of loose bolts right now, quite possibly all of them. Yikes. So when we do our run-through of the NFC and the NFC East right now, the Chicago Bears will not really be mentioned during it.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe that they're going to be a contender.
I don't think anyone should.
No. All right, so let's go through it real quick. And we'll be doing this every single Wednesday. The teams in the division of the Eagles and then also the rest of the NFC where we believe they could be a serious contender. And we're just going to sort of talk about what they've done in their recent week and what they've done so far in the season. We'll start in the division. We know the Eagles are 2-0. We'll go past the Eagles. So then there's the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 2-0 to start the season. They've scored 70 points. They've allowed 10. Now, last week was against Zach Wilson. So I wasn't expecting the Jets to have some great performance. It is kind of concerning that they put up 30 against that Jets defense because that Jets defense is going to be good. I'm never going to change my opinion. The Cowboys are going to be into this until the very end of the season with the Eagles. The Eagles come out on top, but it's going to be a week 17, week 18 kind of deal where we find out who the winner of this division is. Connor, you kind of got concerned the other day, and it's all because of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he seems like a game wrecker, like a guy who could legitimately win or lose, but win a game by himself, like as long as they stay close. He's a legitimate problem as an individual defender, maybe the most so in football. But they did play the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah, but he's a stud. Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing. He is a stud.
It does. He is a stud.
He's going to be good against every team in the NFL,
but
except the Eagles.
One of your strengths
figure out how to stop them.
Exactly. One of your strengths is offensive line. So we'll see.
Yeah. So the Cowboys, they're legitimate. The Commanders, not. They're 2-0. They make the big comeback. Or no, that was the Giants. Giants made the big comeback. The Commanders beat the Cardinals week 1. So they beat the the Cardinals in week 1. And then in week 2, it's this weird Denver Broncos team that I still don't know what to believe. I don't think the Commanders are
super fraudulent.
Yeah, I think so too. I know there's that. What's his name? Will Compton. Is he the guy that does Barstool? He said the Commanders win the division this year. I don't know what he's smoking. That's not happening. But yeah, so the Commanders 2-0. I'm only going to talk about them because they're currently in the Eagles division. They're in the Eagles division. The Eagles are going to have to play them twice this year, but they're not a team that I fear at all.
They're the second most fraudulent 2-0 team in football.
Who's the other most fraudulent 2-0 team?
Tune in on Monday night to find out.
Okay. Them or the Falcons? Or fraudulent?
Ooh. No, it's the Buccaneers.
Okay. The Giants 1-1. They win last week. They come from behind. They beat Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. I think the Giants still will take a step back this year. Saquon's now banged up. We'll see how long he's out. Like, if Saquon's out, Daniel Jones isn't winning anything. Let's say Saquon's out 2 weeks. They probably go 0-2 or at best 1-1. They're not winning 2 straight games.
Yes, correct.
Daniel Jones stinks.
Correct.
And he needs Saquon Barkley to
He's
be
not
successful.
winning anything important.
No.
They could still be like a 6 or 7 win team. Like, they're not going to be awful, but they're not going to be good.
6 or 7 wins is pretty awful.
I guess, yeah. I'm still when I talk win totals, it's still based on the 16 game
so like
schedule.
7 and 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're still kind of in it at the end there.
Right.
Well, you wouldn't be. It's 7 and 9, but whatever. No. So that's the NFC East. Now we look at the other teams in the conference where you go, all right, these are the teams that are going to be able to compete with you toward the very end of the regular season to win the 1 seed, not just the division, but to get the 1 seed. The San Francisco 49ers are 2-0. I know I hate that guy Omar who calls in, but they are a good football team. And you know, we don't have to hide that. It was a tough game against the Rams. I know it's a divisional opponent, so that's probably part of it. But the Rams are going to ultimately stink this year. At least we think.
Yeah, probably are.
Like, there was the whole weird thing that McVay might not have, almost didn't come back this year. They don't have Cooper Kupp, and there's talks about, there's the conspiracy theories that maybe he's out. They see how they do to start the season, and if they're terrible, then they just don't really work him back in all that much, or maybe they do eventually, but slower. But they got Puka Nacua, man.
Of course.
He's on fire right now, the wide receiver for the Rams. But the Niners, they barely beat the Rams. I mean, it was a 10-point win until Sean McVay wanted to hit his bet, and he kicked the field goal as time expired. 49ers are dangerous. They are.
It's kind of wild, right? Because last year we looked at it going into the postseason. We're like, okay, so there's the Eagles, and then there's 6 teams in the AFC, and then you get to the Cowboys and the 49ers.
Right.
For my money, the 3 best teams in football so far this year are in the NFC. So far this year through 2 weeks. It's the Eagles. It's the Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll still have the Chiefs in the conversation.
Bro, they didn't score against Jacksonville.
No, I'm saying when all is said and done.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying through 2 weeks.
Through 2 weeks, yes, that's fair, and that was the power rankings. No, the Chiefs were still ahead of the Eagles in the NFL.com power rankings yesterday. It was Niners, Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. So the Niners are gonna be good. Rams are 1-1. I'm not going to spend much time on them. The Seahawks are 1-1. I don't know what to make of them. It comes back to Geno Smith. They could win 9 games this year. They could win 10 games this year. They're not winning that division. There were people that liked the Seahawks because of the value bet. I do like areas of that team. DK and Tyler Lockett, we know, and Njigba, that's a great wide receiver room.
Yeah, they're frisky.
Kenneth Walker's a good running back. And then I like their corners. Like Woolen, like I like their defense they have there. It's still Geno Smith. And it's like the Brock Purdy thing.
Yeah.
Except, that team's even better.
There's a middle tier of NFL teams where I don't think they're good, but if they were on primetime, I'd watch them. Mm-hmm. And the Seahawks are in that tier.
Yes.
I could sit down and spend 3 hours.
Put up a lot of points against the Lions last week. And now we'll go to the Lions in the NFC North. This is a division where I don't know who the team is that comes out. It's just not the Bears. Sorry. The Vikings. Right. The Vikings are 0-2.
They stink.
Yeah, but how good are the Packers? And how good are the Lions? I do think the Lions win that division, but do they win with 11? Are they 11-6?
That could be like the NFC East year where there's like a team with a losing record that ends up finding.
I don't think they'll have a losing record, but I don't
think any of them are that good.
But I don't think the Vikings are going to finish 6-11.
They might, buddy. They're not a very good football team, and their offensive line is falling apart.
It is falling apart. It's bad. The center. I wonder what's going on this week for them because their center was out last week and Darisol's banged up. Now that was a Thursday night, so that's probably part of it. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the North. But the Packers, they came back down to life. Everybody bought into the Packers after week 1, and they can't beat the Falcons. Yeah, which that just can't happen. I know they're dealing with a lot of injuries too, but the Lions I'll still keep an eye on because they have talent. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got banged. Is he done for the season?
I haven't seen
because I know there was a report that he tore his pec too, which is obviously what Avonte Maddox is dealing with. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson feared to suffer a torn pec in Sunday's game, now out indefinitely potentially for the season. So that was from 2 days ago. I don't know what the update is on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but he might be out for the season. And so that's a big part of their defense. I mean, their defensive front's ridiculous. Like Hutchinson's just incredible. So they're still going to be able to get home. We talk about the Eagles' front four and how they can be fantastic and how they can make maybe bad corners look better. That could be the Lions and their team as well. And then in the NFC South, you said the Bucs are the most fraudulent 2-0 team. You could also make the case for the Falcons being the most fraudulent 2-0 team. And then there's the Saints who are 2-0, who haven't really played well. They're still the team that I think comes out of that division. But there's nobody in the South where I go, better keep an eye out on those guys.
No, the Eagles smoke all those teams.
So South, is there a team, do you get worried if it's Eagles, not Lions?
No.
You wouldn't go, all right, well, better score a lot of points, because they can score points.
Is the game in Philly?
Yes.
No, I'm not worried.
All right, I love that. All right, so there's your run-through of the NFC East and the NFC, the top contenders in the NFC. It's something that we're going to do every single Wednesday as the season goes on. Going to get to Gabe in a second, but Connor, we have our NFC and AFC awards for this week.
Oh, give them to me.
Will the trend continue?
Tell me the streak's alive.
In the AFC.
Okay.
Your offensive player of the week is Josh Allen. He was tremendous.
Figures.
Tremendous against the Raiders. AFC defensive player of the week. How about that Alex Highsmith? 7 tackles and a sack, and he had the pick 6 against the Browns.
Makes sense.
Good game. AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. We obviously care about that Nick Folk.
Oh, why not?
And
he got traded actually right before the season.
Well, it's funny. His picture is wearing a Patriots jersey.
Yeah.
But it's for the Titans. He had the game-winning field goal against the Chargers, that fraudulent team. To the NFC. Special Teams Player of the Week last week was Jake Elliott. This week, Jake Camarda, punter. You can't give a punter a Special Teams Player of the Week.
Unless he ran a fake that he got or something. What are the stats?
Camarda tallied 4 punts, put 3 inside the 20-yard line. That's incredible.
That's pretty good.
And had a long of 72 yards. That's great. But come on. It's got to be a gunner, or it's got to be somebody that scores a touchdown, or it's got to be a field goal kicker. The punter can never be the Special Teams Player of the Week.
You're telling me there were no good field goal days?
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. You can't have a punter win that award, but he does. Defensive Player of the Week. Who do you think, Connor?
Micah Parsons.
That is correct, Micah Parsons. And the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Your own DeAndre Swift.
That is correct.
Let's go.
So the streak continues. The Eagles just keep on tallying up Players of the Week awards, whether it's offensive or defensive or special teams. We saw that all last year. And so far, we are 2 for 2. Jake Elliott in week 1 and DeAndre Swift in week 2. So congratulations to DeAndre Swift. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Gabe in Brewery Town. Gabe, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Gabe?
As we can see, DeAndre Swift, he just won Player of the Week. So it's it's nothing that Eagles fans should really even be worried about. When you even think about last year, we won a lot of close nail-biting games. So I don't understand why the fans are worried.
I mean, it hasn't been pretty to start. And my theory is, Gabe, and I said this last week too, is because our expectations are for the Super Bowl, we are going to find every little crack in the armor and say this could be the reason why that doesn't happen. And because it has not been pretty through 2 games, Jalen Hurts has really only had 2 good quarters. Brian Johnson looks like he's going through a lot. We'll play some of Brian Johnson's press conference in a little bit. I think people see things that make them concerned that their super high expectations might not come to fruition. But I can't panic through 2 weeks.
Yeah, obviously. And it's even when you think about last year, we had to deal with injuries with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And we won a lot of close games. So it's even when you think about teams that were way worse than us, like the Bears, the Colts, it was a lot of close games. So us beating the Vikings and winning last week, I feel like the fans had nothing to really worry about. Let's get this going. Let's keep positive. This is what we do. We win, and we're going to keep on winning. So let's just keep on going. I just think we're going to keep on winning.
And I hope Monday night they beat the doors off the Bucs, and then we're celebrating on Tuesday, and we're in higher spirits.
That's obvious. The Bucs, they not beating us. Come on now. Let's be real.
I know. They're not beating us, Gabe, but if there's another ugly win, you know how people are going to start acting.
You're right.
So, and look, rightfully so. I'll feel a certain type of way, too. And thanks for the call, Gabe. I appreciate it. Nice hearing from you. I'll feel a certain type of way if they win 20-17 against Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. I'll feel a certain type of way.
I'm totally with you, dude. We're not here to blow sunshine up your, if they don't play well, we're also upset. But the ultimate result, this is the most important stat. We talk about it on the Birds postgame show here on the Fanatic all the time. The number one stat that matters to that postgame show is whether or not the Eagles won the game.
Yep.
2-0.
And they're 2-0. And you know what they say in the locker room? Man, we're 2-0.
Yeah.
They're just like Kayvon Thibodeau does not like Giants fans because all that matters is the Giants players. There's probably an Eagles player that's like, man, do you hear them ripping us on the radio? We're 2-0. That's probably how I'm sure at least one single player on a roster of 53, or as Nick Sirianni says, the 69-man roster. I'm sure there's somebody that feels a certain type of way that people have been very critical. It hasn't been pretty, but they're 2-0. Now they do got to get right at some point.
Yes.
And I hope that starts Monday night. 610-632-0975. I'm Andrew Salchunas. Brian Johnson spoke earlier today to the media. We'll play some of his press conference next because I'll be curious to see what he has to say, following a better performance for him. But the game plan going into it wasn't good, but he made the big adjustment to go to that run-heavy offense. And now, of course, they turn their attention to Monday night against the Bucs. So you'll hear from Brian Johnson coming up, and also this crazy story of a player in Major League Baseball and his own version of sports science and why he did not have a good day yesterday. I'll explain more coming up right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
The Eagles take home another award. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by the Philadelphia 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb at the Wells Fargo Center. Join Jen Scordo and Chunis on Saturday, September 30th as they climb up and down the Wells Fargo Center in honor of our 9/11 fallen heroes. Sponsored by Paul Davis Restoration of Greater Philly. Go to phillystairclimb.com for more details. Yes, the Eagles take home another weekly award. Last week, it was Jake Elliott winning NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. This week, DeAndre Swift, with his 175 rushing yards and a touchdown, takes home NFC Offensive Player of the Week. The Birds, of course, 2-0, getting ready for a Monday night matchup with Tampa Bay in Week 3. The Eagles worked out 6 players yesterday ahead of that matchup. A cornerback, 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, a tight end. Definitely some injury issues with the roster, so they're looking to address that. The Phillies lost yesterday to the Braves in Game 2 of their series down in Atlanta. They play Game 3 currently. Aaron Nola facing off against Bryce Elder. It's going the Phillies' direction. And, yes, we'll keep you updated on the Phillies down the stretch as they come close to a postseason push again. This update's also brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here, National Queso Day. To celebrate, Qdoba's giving away a free large-sided 3-cheese queso with your entree to drip your burrito. Use the code word DRIP at participating locations or online. Keep it locked right here for all your latest news and info. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic presents Kelly Green Cash. It's your chance to win $1,000 cash 5 times a day every week. Listen at 8, 10, noon, 3, and 5 for your chance to win $1,000 cash. And every Fanatic winner in our company-wide contest will also win a brand new 2023 Birds Kelly Green jersey. 97.5 The Fanatic's Kelly Green Cash. Every weekday at 8, 10, noon, 3, and 5. Presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand. Call 1-800-90-LEGAL and 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Hey, it's John Kincaid for the American Association for Cancer Research. And you know, as a 2-time cancer survivor that is soon hoping to make it a threesome, I know firsthand that donations supporting cancer research are the key to finding a cure. That's why I'm excited about the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. And it runs through the end of the year. All first-time donators received today through December 31st will be matched for twice the impact. So no amount's too small. Every dollar counts twice during the challenge period. And your support helps propel the work of the next generation of people that are pioneering cancer research. Collaboration is critical to making new discoveries, diagnosing, treating, and one day curing cancer. So if you've never donated to the AACR, now's the perfect time because your dollars will go twice as far thanks to the AACR's First Time Donor Match Challenge. Go to aacr.org/fanatic. That's aacr.org/fanatic and give what you can. I'm living proof that cancer research saves lives, and I'm hoping that the third time's a charm.
It's Jen Scordo. Get ready to start the NFL week off on the right foot because right now all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay for Thursday Night Football. Just place a 3-leg same-game parlay on this week's game between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Go to FanDuel.com/Scordo to build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Visit FanDuel.com/Scordo so you don't miss out on your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook in partnership with Valley Forge. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in PA. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy. like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, if you're over 40 and you've noticed you're falling off at work, the gym, even the bedroom, listen up, because the reality is once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. But there's good news. Nugenix, the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart, has turned back the clock for men over 40 with Nugenix Total T. And guys all over America are feeling the difference.
This is the best product I've found to raise T levels. I plan on using the product for the rest of my life.
I had no drive and was tanked at the end of the day. After 3 months, my energy level was through the roof. I work out like most 19-year-olds. I'm 47.
Text PREP to 369-369 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text PREP to 369-369. That's PREP to 369-369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Barbecue tip number 4 from Roland Dickey. The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. Try our jalapeno cheddar sausage sandwich on a buttered brioche bun and make it a combo with a side and a 32-ounce Big Yellow Cup starting at $11.99. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at Dickies.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the rib. At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the party, less is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. So our chicks feel fly. So what? Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Did you know Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm? Morgan & Morgan even covers you if you get hurt in Sandwich, Illinois, or why not, North Carolina. Morgan & Morgan makes starting a claim easy.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now because game day is so close you can almost taste it. Football watching. Better with Pepsi.
Hey, Philly. Looking to save big on your next new Nissan? Then look no further than the Bush Auto Group. Right now, you can score rates as low as 0% for 60 months on select models. And that's not all. Every vehicle purchase at the Bush Auto Group comes with over $3,000 in bonus value to drive down the cost of vehicle ownership. Don't wait. Swing by one of our 2 Bush Nissan locations in Limerick and Exton today and drive off with a grin as wide as the Schuylkill Expressway. Visit bushautogroup.com to learn more. And remember, Philly rides with us.
Hello? Whether you're at home or on the go, listen to 97.5 The Fanatic on Odyssey on your smartphone, Roku, LG Smart TV, Waze, and more. That's Odyssey, AUDACY. Check it out now.
Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia is your game day headquarters. Pre-game the Birds at the Ultimate Tailgate, steps away from the stadium, with me, Andrew Salchunas, and my man Pat Egan for the FanDuel pregame show. Enjoy food specials at the new June Bug Barbecue. Sip on refreshing drink specials, play trivia and cornhole contests to win awesome prizes and giveaways. Plus, don't forget to make your game picks each week for the chance to win your share of $300,000. Game days only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit LiveCasinoPhilly.com for details. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Philadelphia sports. It's a family thing. 97.5 The Fanatic.
121, 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Andrew Salchunas. We're going to play some of Brian Johnson's press conference coming up in a little bit. Update on the Phillies. Phillies are having a nice little outing against the Bravos. How about a 4-0 lead for the Fightins? Aaron Nola pitching well. Let's leave it at that.
Don't jinx him.
I just said he's pitching well.
Yeah,
leave it
I know.
at that.
I'm just warning you. You came close.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the 4th inning is always his issue.
Well, yeah.
And so they're about to go to the fourth inning.
They are.
You're the one that's jinxing.
No, I'm not.
There was anyway. I'm not gonna get into it because it's gonna end up being my fault. We had an interesting conversation during the break, and you ended up stepping away because I know you had to record the final update. But the conversation continued with Tyrone and Dylan, and so Taylor Swift was seen walking around. I don't even, look, when I say I am so out on life, I don't know who Joe Jonas's wife was.
Sophie Turner. She played Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones.
Okay. And they recently divorced.
Yeah. Or I don't know if they've officially. Whatever. They're breaking up.
They're in the process of splitting up. And so there's a photo going around of Taylor Swift and who?
Sophie Turner.
And Sophie Turner. I know Trey Turner.
It's true.
But I don't know Sophie Turner. I know Josh Turner, country artist,
singer,
and Justin Turner, third baseman of the, where's he at? Is he still at the Dodgers?
No, he's with the Red Sox.
That's right. He's with the Red Sox. So Sophie Turner and Taylor Swift were caught walking around arm in arm. And so I know this. I think I'm sniffing out Taylor Swift here. And I know this is a dangerous thing to say because
buddy.
Not only am I in the Taylor Swift area, but I also know the Swifties can be nasty. They'll come to her defense in a second. If I'm like Taylor Swift, her albums are basically 85% breakup songs.
Yeah.
And how you're dating the wrong person or I'm dating the wrong person or blah, blah. Like that's 85 to 95% of her songs are about breakups and how guys suck. Right? Like that's pretty much how it is. Am I wrong?
No, you're spot on.
So now she's, walking arm in arm with the Sophie girl. And the next album will be about somehow like making friends through
breakups and stuff.
I'm telling you right now, there will be a Taylor Swift song, if there isn't one already, about becoming friends with somebody who you both had you both dated somebody. It's an ex. Am I wrong?
I don't know, man.
There will be I'm telling you right now, there will be a Taylor Swift song about this. I'm seeing through this. She has made a lot of money doing this. A lot of money. Good for her. She's a local person, so I am happy for her success.
Yeah.
But clearly everyone in Hollywood or any sort of person in like these famous people, they all are awful people in the end. Like there's not many very nice famous people.
That's true.
They kind of all suck. So I think that Taylor Swift should give you a shot, Connor. I'm married, so I'm unavailable.
Wait, what do you mean? Give me a shot.
You're a regular Joe, right? You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Relatively, but I hang out with you. We play basketball on Wednesdays. I just can't tonight.
Yeah.
But she should give you a shot. Dylan said he would take her on a date.
Dylan better back off. I call dibs.
All I'm saying is, no, she gets to choose. There's no dibs.
Yeah, but I get first shot.
No, she gets to choose. She might choose Dylan over you.
Well, she's going to. That's why I'm not letting Dylan.
Dylan's a good cook.
Yeah, that's why I'm not letting Dylan go out.
But I don't think she will. I don't think that she will ever date the common
She's
man.
dating for the drama, not for the love.
Until she wants to hang up the singing career. I think she's going to continue to date these awful human beings in Hollywood or whatever. And she will continue to make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for all of her breakup songs.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
I respect it. I almost respect it. But I see through it. I'm not caught in the mirage. I see right through it. And look, I'm glad that she looks for love. You should. It's nice to have a companion that you can go to battle with, right? And she just hasn't found that one yet that she could, for forever and eternity.
It's okay.
Through sickness and in health. Well, that's okay.
She knows my number, 610-632-0975.
Breakups happen. Divorce happens. It's not like anything crazy, right? But when you've made a killing based off of all these things, something to keep an eye on. I may have exposed Taylor Swift.
You might have.
But people are still going to listen to her music because she's extremely talented.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll still be bumping.
Hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Is that how the song goes?
I think so.
Karma is her boyfriend. It's on the radio every 5 seconds.
I don't know that one.
You probably do.
I only listen to one radio station.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Rip the knob off. 97.5.
All right, so I want to get to Brian Johnson's press conference in a second. But this story of Yusei Kikuchi, who is a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't know if people saw this. And it's crazy because my first person I thought of was Haley at the station. So Haley, she does YouTube for the John Kincaid show. She comes in every once in a while for the afternoon, for the best show ever. I really don't know what her schedule is. Sometimes she's in, sometimes she isn't. But Haley sleeps 12 hours to get through life, which I can't. I don't like sleeping too much because I want to experience life.
Yeah.
Period. So Yusei Kikuchi is a pitcher for the Blue Jays and a talented one. He's pretty good. He pitched yesterday. I think he pitched yesterday, right? Because the story came out last night. Yeah, he pitched yesterday. And 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 7 Ks. His ERA is 3.74 this year. It's good ERA. He's pitching very well for Toronto. But he had to come out of the game yesterday because he was cramping. And here's why. Kikuchi typically goes to bed around 11 o'clock at night.
Makes sense.
You have a 7 o'clock game. You're done right around 10. Shower up. You get back to the hotel or back to your house, depending on where they're at, home or road. And then he goes to sleep.
Yeah, that's when I went to bed last night. Cool.
And he wakes up at 1 p.m.
What?
So Kikuchi usually goes to bed around 11 and wakes up at 1. He left with cramps during last night's game, and he says it's probably because he only got 11 hours of sleep instead of his usual 13 to 14 hours of sleep.
What are we talking about?
But this is how, he truly believes that he thinks he cramped up yesterday because he slept 2 to 3 hours less than he normally does, and not 2 to 3 hours he usually sleeps 6 to 7, but he slept, 3 to 4 hours last night. No, he only slept 11 hours last night.
Doesn't this guy have, stuff to do?
No, he's a Major League Baseball player. His job is to get to the ballpark.
But still.
And because he's a starting pitcher, he really only has to do one thing a week.
I have a job I've got to do, but then outside of the job, there's other things I like to or need to do.
He might not want to do anything else. Well, he's up till 11.
No, yeah, me too. So I wake up and I go, what? You just sleep 13 hours a day?
Yeah, apparently.
Do you know how long they spend at the ballpark? That's pretty much,
because they're there early. Yeah.
Maybe 8. So add that together. What's 8 plus 13?
21.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's most of your day. What else do you do?
Yeah. So that was a strange story, and it wasn't a fake story. That yesterday he came out of the game early because he was cramping, and he believed that it was because he only slept 11 hours last night. So that's the story of Yusei Kikuchi.
That's fun.
All right, 610-632-0975. Hold tight. Here's Brian Johnson from earlier today. We won't play the entire thing of it. I think it went 12 minutes. So we'll play a little bit. I'm just interested to see what he has to say following the Eagles' second win, which was a better performance by him. But I still didn't like the game plan. Let's see what Brian Johnson, offense coordinator, had to say.
How's Jalen done when these two defenses have taken away the first read?
What's that?
How's Jalen done when the first read's been taken away from him?
Yeah, there's been, in the first game, I thought he did a really good job of, defense playing deep, checking the ball down. We started out a couple early completions to Kenny with defenses kind of flying out of there. So, I think Jalen is just continuing to progress, starting to see some different things defensively and just finding ways to adjust to how we're getting played.
The quarterback running game has been a huge strength here over the past few seasons. Hasn't been what we're used to. What is it those different looks? What do you think is going on in that aspect?
Yeah, we haven't hit very many explosives with our running plays. But if you go back and watch the tape, it's really, really close. So we just got to continue to strive to be better in all areas and continue to try to put our guys in the perfect situation.
As a play caller, what's the push-pull in your mind, if you will, about going to a running play over and over again on a consistent basis like you're doing?
Yeah, I think, ultimately job number one is to do what you have to do to win the football game. And I think, one of the luxuries that we have is, we have a bunch of great players. And the reality of that is when you do have great players, it allows us to really attack what the defense is not focusing on. So, for us in this past game on Thursday, we decided that we were able to adjust really quickly to how they were playing, and they gave us a couple favorable matchups in the run game, and the guys did a great job of executing that.
When you're calling the same play over and over again, we used to talk to Shane about not getting bored with that. How hard is it to not try and counter off of it and just stick with what's working?
Well, I think that's just the true test of your patience. I think that's, particularly what the defense is expecting you to do in those scenarios is, we'll try to make the offense drive at 12, 14, 15 plays and count on them to make a mistake. And so, I think it was just a credit to everybody's patience to continue to do what was working.
Two-part question, but guys, how much does the successful quarterback sneak affect your play calling on the second and third down? And secondly, we've seen teams around the league try to replicate what you guys are doing, and this has been successful. What makes you guys so successful doing it, not these other teams?
Yeah, well, we obviously have great players. They spend a lot of time working our quarterback sneak. With Coach Stout and Jason and Landon and Cam, he got his first action in trying to get that quarterback sneak done. So it's been a very effective play for us the last couple years here, and just a total testament to just the type of players that we have that requires to make that play go.
How's it help you out? How's effective play calling on second and third down?
For sure, we feel really, really comfortable in short yardage situations. And we have here for the past 3 years. So for us, it is, anytime that we can get to those favorable down and distances where the quarterback sneak is an option for us, and, obviously having other plays off of it to try to create explosives is a positive for us.
What are the dynamics like between AJ and Devontae from your perspective, meeting rooms on the field and the ways in which they sort of bounce off each other and make each other better?
Well, I think those guys complement each other really well in terms of their games. But there's a reason those guys were voted captain as well. They're great leaders. They're very passionate about their craft and trying to be the best that they can possibly be. So anytime you have, players that kind of set that stage in terms of their leadership, in terms of their work ethic and how they prepare themselves to get ready to go play each and every week and play at a high level each and every week is a testament to them.
What are the defining characteristics of a Todd Bowles defense that keep you up at night?
Well, he's obviously done this for such a long time, and he has just enough wrinkles to keep you honest. But, we didn't play him obviously in 22, but in 21, you have a lot of the same players that were there, but they're always fast, they're physical, they tackle really, really well. And, it's an excellent scheme in terms of just presenting different problems for you offensively. So just like any game, for us, especially particularly in the first two, is you got to go out there and be ready to adjust to any curveballs they throw at you.
I'm assuming you're going back to that 21 tape and kind of using that as a resource. How much of Jalen's growth stands out when you're looking at that tape?
Oh, for sure. He's just seen so much more defense than he did at that point in 2021. So, and just like he's always done, he's continued to progress, to continue to get better. That's who he is as a person. That's who he is as a player. So, he's definitely a different player than he was 2 years ago, for sure.
After Thursday's game, Jason Kelsey referred to what defenses are doing is chaos. They're creating chaos with some of the looks and some of the things that maybe you didn't expect to see. Is that kind of a fair thing to say? Has anything kind of surprised you with how Belichick and Flores came out and played these
Yeah, for sure. I think those guys have done a great job of presenting looks that haven't been on tape, that have been unscouted, and trying to find new ways to challenge us as an offense. And, I think that's one of the things that we talked about is, defenses were going to try to adjust to what we're doing and just kind of see the evolution of from 21 to 22 to 23 of just how defenses, what their focal point is to try to take away from us offensively. And, I was just really proud of the guys for being able to adjust on the fly really, really quickly and find a way to manipulate that and attack and use it to our advantage.
All right, there's offensive coordinator Brian Johnson. I wanted to end it on that note because it's something I brought up after week 1. This was before the Eagles even played the Vikings. And, Connor, you've been doing the show with me during this time. And one of the reasons I said I thought the Eagles may have also struggled week 1 was there is tape out on them.
Right.
The Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year. So this is what happens. Teams will study their film and the Chiefs' film, not just to see how they can beat them, but what can we use to make our team better. That team went 14-3 last year and completely steamrolled the Giants and the Niners in the divisional round of the playoffs in the NFC Championship game. How can we try to do some of the things that they do? Right? We've seen the tush push a couple times already in this past week. The Patriots ran it. We know that Steichen ran it with Anthony Richardson. It didn't work, but we're starting to see that. That's how football is. It's the biggest copycat league in all of sports. And so I love that Jason Kelsey had that comment after the Vikings game that defenses are just, throwing chaos at the Eagles. Clearly, they have seen something on tape to try to affect Jalen Hurts and to try to, mess. The very first question from Jeff McClain. That was, and I don't mean agenda-driven in a bad way. Like he's probably writing a story, right? That's what reporters do. But he asked Brian Johnson, how is Jalen Hurts done after looking at the first read, right? And his first read the other day against the, what was the bad interception? The Vikings or the Patriots? The Patriots.
Patriots won on the third and 16 play or whatever.
Yeah, where he just threw it right. He looked at Devontae the entire time.
Yeah.
He never changed his eyes. And that was an issue of his 2 years ago. It wasn't last year, but it was 2 years ago. So Jeff asked that question for a reason. And then he fast forward to the last question that was asked about the chaos that defenses have thrown at him. Be prepared to see that again on Monday because Bill Belichick did a good job slowing down the Eagles' offense. Brian Flores did a good job slowing down the Eagles' offense until they started running the football. So now Todd Bowles is going to go, all right, well, clearly this has worked against the Eagles' passing attack. And Jalen Hurts is the ultimate weapon, so we're going to do whatever we can to slow him down. But now how do I adjust to stop the run? Because clearly they have an offensive line and talented backs where they can run for 175 yards.
Right.
So that's what Todd Bowles is going to have to do. But I like that Brian Johnson admitted to, it has been chaotic. They're throwing different looks based off of the tape that they have seen over the last couple of years.
I brought it up. It's kind of like a guy playing full court press against you in basketball, like the whole game.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a winning strategy. Like there's a way to beat it. It's just not fun, right? It's not fun to play against.
Right.
If someone blitzes you all game, there's a reason all coaches don't do that because you don't consistently win enough calling all of the same type of play.
Yes.
But every once in a while, you're going to run into some dude who just decides that he wants to make your life miserable. And it's a Brian Flores blitzing you like crazy. Or it's a Belichick who's just going to take stuff away in the most annoying way possible. And that's what they have to deal with this year.
Yeah, and look, I'll go back to 2 years. So somebody asked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game from 2 years ago. Remember the playoff game? And Todd Bowles had that clip that went viral where he said Jalen Hurts can't read a defense or whatever. I remember you guys played it a lot on the morning show.
Yep.
Pat brought it up the other day, too, and sent shivers down the spines of John and Bob. So 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts was a different quarterback. He has since improved dramatically from 2 years ago. But 2 years ago, during the regular season, they played the Buccaneers. And Jonathan Gannon's idea to defend Tom Brady was to let him have all the time in the world.
That's smart.
Yeah. Let's give the greatest quarterback of all time all the time in the world to throw the football, and he's going to pick you apart.
Did it work?
No, they lost that game.
Good
and
work,
so it makes you think, like, all right, yeah, you shouldn't blitz every single play. But you also shouldn't give talented quarterbacks plenty of time just rushing 3 or 4, especially against like an Eagles offensive line. So what Brian Flores has done and what Bill Belichick has done is, all right, Yeah, they have 5 incredible offensive linemen. We're not going to be able to beat them 4-on-5. So we're going to bring some more pressure.
Yes.
And that's what they've done. And so Brian Johnson then made the great adjustment early in the game last week to go run heavy. It's a game of chess every single week.
Yeah, and guess what? When you play chess and someone uses a certain strategy on you, a gambit, if you will, you remember that. So now, again, remember, Brian Johnson is doing this for the first time as an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care where he's called plays before or this, that, and the other thing. No, he's 2 games into his tenure as Eagles head coach. And he realized that when someone brings heavy pressure on you consistently like the Vikings did, well, I've got a good enough offensive line to just run the ball down their throats and neutralize it. So now if another team does try that, well, they're going to have to deal with the fact when they put that into the scheme. When you go to your DC or when your DC comes to the head coach is like, hey, I think I'm going to blitz him a bunch. You're going to say, okay, well, last time they did that, they had a guy rush for
175 yards.
NFC Offensive Player of the Week. So do we have an answer for that too? Because now he's learning. Like this stuff, both sides learn. The Eagles can improve too.
Yep, they definitely can. We'll get to the Phillies in a second because the Rav 4th inning came to an end.
They survived.
Yes, they did.
Kind
Let's
of.
go to Steve in Bucks County. Steve, you're on the Fanatic.
Hey, Tunis, how are you?
What's up, Steve?
Guys are doing a great job. You
Thank
two
you.
right down behind the glass.
Damn right. Ray's doing a great job, too.
I know earlier you guys were talking about your favorite players and all that kind of stuff. Not to backpedal, but I kind of blame fantasy sports or fantasy football for that because, like, my son is a huge Peyton Manning fan.
Well, I'll say this: it's not fantasy sports because when I was a kid, my 2 favorite players outside of the Eagles were Priest Holmes and Marvin Harrison, and I did not play fantasy football. I was just a fan of the league. My dad just made sure to have the talking with me that you can have favorite players outside of Philadelphia, but the Eagles are your favorite team.
Love that.
Yeah, so we had a stern talking to about when I was a little kid.
Because I got twin boys. One's a diehard Birds boy. The other one, he loves the Birds. He was at the parade with us. But if the Broncos are playing, he may go sit in a different bedroom.
I hear. Okay.
We have a problem here.
Yeah, God bless him. There was a buddy of mine in college from Brooklyn that somehow was a Broncos fan because John Elway was his favorite player, and we were 4 when he was done playing. So I don't know how that's possible.
I kind of find it my fault because I guess he watched me follow Manning when Manning got traded to Denver, and he was my fantasy QB for a couple of years, and that's when he really got into football.
Yeah, I mean, look, that could be part of it, right? It could be. Now, Connor likes Wade Boggs more so because of the drinking beer and all that kind of stuff. But I've had people call in and tweet in that they've had favorite players that they never watched. And my buddy Tristan checked in. He was a big Ken Griffey Jr. fan. Now, Griffey played when we were kids, but like it's been more so since he's grown up and has sort of followed the career of Ken, or like sort of read more up on the career of Ken Griffey Jr., that he became like Jr.'s now one of his favorite players of all time.
Yeah. To each their own, I guess, right?
Yeah. So what do you got on the bird? Oh, of course. How are you feeling about the Eagles for 2 weeks?
Monday night, man. Monday night, I think it's a win, man. I think we blow them out. I think that they're going to officially get their heads out of their butts and make it happen and show who they really are.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling too, Steve. Thanks for the call, man, and good luck with the Broncos fan in the household.
That's tough.
That's got to be scary.
He got one kid right.
Yeah, he did. All right, so the Phils are in the bottom half of the 5th, and they're up 4-1. They got through the 4th inning. Nola did have runners on and did allow a run and also threw a wild pitch. So it looked like he was unraveling for a little bit, which the 4th inning has been his blow-up inning this year. I'll pull up his numbers in the 4th. But Connor, they got out of it. That's good.
Yeah, they survived. It was close. He had like 1st and 2nd with no outs and a run across. Or 1 out and a run across. And I was like, here we go. But
and that's why I've been saying, and I said it to you earlier this week as well, and I said it to you last week, if I'm Rob Thompson, playoff time, forget showing that I have confidence in a guy. Somebody is loosening up in the pen in the 4th inning.
Yeah, I'm with you because
I don't what's the problem? It's not like Nola's pitched well in the 4th inning this year anyway.
No.
So if you have somebody behind him warming up, is it going to be worse?
Yeah, other teams have employed the opener role to perfection. The Tampa Bay Rays probably the biggest of doing it.
Yeah.
And I think some people look at it as this new wave analytical crap, but if it works for a player, it works for a player. There's precedent to use that, and Aaron Nola might just be a guy who needs someone to come in after him, use him in like a larger opener role. There's nothing wrong. There's no set way for how to get there. It's you just got to find a way to win baseball games.
Well, and here's the thing. If he gets out of the fourth inning, then you let him keep going.
Right.
But just be ready. Now, I did not realize there has been a change in the inning-by-inning ERA for Nola.
Oh, no, don't say it.
It is no longer the fourth.
Oh, no, it's the fifth, isn't it?
That is worse than the fourth now. But the third has been his worst inning now. So this is crazy, dude. His third inning ERA this year is 6.90.
Nice.
Fifth inning is 5.27.
Not good.
Then the fourth inning is 4.85.
I mean, just those 3 innings right there are terrible. Like, what is it? The second time through the lineup, he just gets smoked?
Yeah, I guess so.
But then the third time, he's fine?
No, because the sixth inning, it's 4.71. The seventh inning is actually in the threes, 3.97 in 14 attempts, in 14 games.
Yeah, I can't figure him out. I don't know.
No, but look, so far so good is all I'm going to say. Now, here's the deal, and we'll react to this tomorrow. I got crapped on for the statement win tweet. You pull out the series, that's a statement series.
Be careful, you're going to get another email.
You have to win first, which, look, the Braves are a very talented team. They could come back and win. But remember, we had so many people, well, they're resting players. Your lineup today for the Braves: Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olsen, Ozuna, Rosario, Murphy, Harris, Lopez. So 8 out of their typical 9 starters.
Right. Like
they're not resting. They are playing. And the other day, it was Kyle Wright. Oh, well, they beat Kyle Wright. Today, it's Elder. Better pitcher. Nick Castellanos, 2 bombs.
Check on your loved ones.
Yeah, seriously. 2 bombs for Nick Castellanos. So I'm just saying, they pull out this series win. Is it all right to say statement win?
I'm good with it. Listen, I'm not the one you have to convince. That's the tough thing about this room right now, or these 2 rooms we're in. I've always been on your side. I'm a very positive person when it comes to the Phillies. But maybe the joint power of the victory shirt and the Tunis train can drag this fan base to where they need to be.
I would hope so. I would hope so, because a lot of people are down. I've read that email a few times today from my buddy Joe, who will be fired up come playoff time. He said he'll open up the pain. But, right now, if you're being honest, like this is a big series in terms of mentality. It might not mean anything in the grand scheme of things. I mean, locking up the top wild card is actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's huge.
So that you can play at home. But if you pull out a win, you take 2 or 3 in Atlanta, you know what they're all thinking. You know what every player's thinking, and you know what Brian Snitker is thinking. You know what every Braves fan is thinking, going, oh boy, wait, that team that knocked us out in the playoffs last year, we just let them get hot right at the end of the season.
Don't let the boys get hot.
You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Anyways, are you going to sleep for 13 hours today like UC Kikuchi?
Well, get me to the majors, because if so, I might have to.
Well, yeah, if it gets to the majors, I would do it too.
Nah, I think I'm going to go with a cool regular 8.
How's it feel? You're not waking up in the morning.
I feel so much more awake. I can actually process thoughts
so
normally.
Connor usually gets in at 4:00 in the morning, but during this time, he's been coming in at 9.
Yeah, it's a bit of a lifestyle change. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you get to rest. You can actually enjoy nighttime.
I don't mind it. Yeah, I've stayed up later the past 2 days.
I'm not gonna lie, the midday slot is pretty nice. We know how this goes in the industry. Mornings and afternoons, the big times. But it's sleeping in a little bit.
I need my beauty rest. If you see me on YouTube, you can see why. I definitely need my beauty sleep.
You look fantastic today.
I'm working on it.
Everybody have a great rest of your day. We appreciate you chiming in on the phones and social media and YouTube as well. Thank you for our YouTube audience. I appreciate you guys sticking around with us. The best show ever coming your way next. They'll be on at 2:00. They'll get to react to the Phillies game when it comes to an end. And tomorrow we'll react to the Phillies, and we'll talk a little bit of rivalries tomorrow, right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports News Update.
The Eagles are working out some new players. I'm Connor Thomas. This update is brought to you by Temple Football. Be part of a big-time college football showdown when the Temple Owls battle the nationally ranked Miami Hurricanes Saturday at 3:30 p.m. at Lincoln Financial Field. The first 2,500 fans receive a Joe Klecko replica jersey as part of Temple's celebration of Champions Day. For tickets, visit owlstix.com. Yes, the Eagles are looking at some new players ahead of their matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night in Week 3. They worked out William Jackson, a former first-round cornerback. They also worked out 2 running backs, 2 linebackers, and a tight end. We'll keep you updated on any Eagles roster news, but DeAndre Swift is the big news of the day for the Birds. He wins NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his efforts in Week 2. The Phils fell to the Braves yesterday. They're looking for a bounce back in the series ender today. That game started at 12:20. Aaron Nola took the mound against Bryce Elder. This update was also brought to you by Qdoba Mexican Eats. It's finally here, National Queso Day.